audibly acceptable audiobooks. Right now, you can get over 100,000 million books through the Karak's audio bookstore. New York Times classics like I Married a Werewolf, Teen Bruisers, What Is This Dark Spot, Why Can't I Pull Off My Own Face, and the classic award-winning self-help book, How to Staple Your Mouth Shut by Here is just a small sample of the audio quality that you can expect. He flicked the hair out of his face, the sweat beading off of it, his weight pressed down on her, his lithe form finding comfort in her curves. There was a sensuous quality to her body he couldn't get enough of. He slipped her bra off smoothly and tossed it onto the hard concrete floor. Bill patted the old Corvette with one hand. That's it, baby. Let me know all your secrets. An entire world is waiting for you. Just download them on the go to your Android or that one company that fucking hates headphones, so they remove the port completely. Listen on the go. Pretend you're busy so you don't have to engage with others in society. And that's right, you can do it all from the comfort of your little safety cocoon of sound, you goddamned introverts. It's best if you also don't make eye contact and beat your head like you're cooler than everyone else is. Just $19.99 a month plus taxes and fees and VAT times 2, or our subscription service that's only $19.99 a month plus VATs and fees and service times 2. And allowing our tracking cookies, you can have instant access to all that you desire when it comes to the audio realm. So join Karak's audio and audible, audibly acceptable audiobooks now for when your eyes are just too fucking lazy to move side to side. And remember, you can't cancel at any time. Karak's audio and audible, audibly acceptable audiobooks. Let's just stop moving as a species, you fatties. Today's podcast is brought to you by Karak's audio and audible, audibly acceptable audiobooks. Right now, you can get over 100,000 million books through the Karak's audio bookstore. New York Times classics like I Married a Werewolf, Teen Bruisers, What Is This Dark Spot, Why Can't I Pull Off My Own Face, and the classic award-winning self-help book, How to Staple Your Mouth Shut by Here is just a small sample of the audio quality that you can expect. He flicked the hair out of his face, the sweat beading off of it, his weight pressed down on her, his lithe form finding comfort in her curves. There was a sensuous quality to her body he couldn't get enough of. He slipped her bra off smoothly and tossed it onto the hard concrete floor. Bill patted the old Corvette with one hand. That's it, baby. Let me know all your secrets. An entire world is waiting for you. Just download them on the go to your Android or that one company that fucking hates headphones, so they remove the port completely. Listen on the go. Pretend you're busy so you don't have to engage with others in society. And that's right, you can do it all from the comfort of your little safety cocoon of sound, you goddamned introverts. It's best if you also don't make eye contact and beat your head like you're cooler than everyone else is. Just $19.99 a month plus taxes and fees and VAT times 2, or our subscription service that's only $19.99 a month plus VATs and fees and service times. What's up, everybody? This is Karak with ACG, and I'm here with Reg and Silver and Absy for the International Podcast. And the blank seat, as always, whether he's there or not physically, is Johnny.
Did we actually go live?
Mm-hmm. We decided to go live without him actually being on. He'll come back. He'll be like, hey, man, we live. Let's pretend we're not. No, let's not. Hey,
no.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
No. Yo.
Traitors.
Oh,
We're
damn
live.
it, you knew? You had your headphones on. Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Curses to technology right there. God damn it.
Seriously.
You can't do normal tricks anymore on people. Everything,
No, man.
everybody's
Hey,
already...
imagine having wireless headphones, okay? It couldn't be me.
Imagine having wireless headphones 30, 40 years ago. Like, just take that technology, not even really amazing.
with a
to us.
Walkman.
Yeah.
And the Walkman was still new
When
technology.
the Walkman was new, and you got this big box. Remember that shit? You had clips and stuff. Put it
And
on
you got your
belt.
little Apple headphones without any wires?
Oh, dude, people...
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, you'd be burned as a witch.
I had
You'd
a
be like,
massive
"Witchcraft."
CD player, like a big ass one.
I had the CD player you carried around. It didn't work
Yeah.
very well. It had a little buffer. I think it was like a 16-bit
Oh,
buffer.
yeah.
And I had
Right.
like top hits. I had like
Couple seconds.
Eminem.
Yep.
Mhm.
50 Cent,
if
Get
you
Rich or
tapped
Die
it too hard
Trying.
and continued to do it, the buffer would run out and it would skip, but it would try to like anti-skip, and they were trying to tell you you're going to be able to like, wear these all the time. It's like, nah.
Mhm.
And then I had an Omega zip drive. I always tell Reg this because this is like the tech at the time, which was the hard cartridge drive, but it was like, I think at the time it was 250 megs. And
That's
that was
huge.
considered huge.
That's
man.
huge.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
thing was chock full of porn. Chock full of porn.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, nice. And it got, I don't know who got it, but I don't have it anymore, so somebody's got it. But thank you, everybody, for joining us for the podcast. I forgot to announce it correctly on YouTube, so it didn't go out to people. Such is life. If you guys have noticed, Absy has been editing these for video later, removing any long pauses or any audio glitches that pop up and stuff like that. So all thanks
And
to him
adding
for doing
footage.
that. Oh, and
I'll be
adding
doing that
footage
way
for video.
faster than last week, though. Sorry about that, guys. Like, I mean, I'll be doing it like right after the podcast ends, so that I can get it out there as soon as possible.
Yeah, we'll get it out. And then Silver didn't make it last week. What were you doing? Were you just having a good time? Hookers, blow? What was it?
Both.
I wasn't I there?
Was it? Well,
Yeah, you were.
Did he make
Silver
it last
was
time?
there.
What did
Yeah,
I
he
miss? Oh, it
was.
was the
I
time
did.
before he
Yeah,
didn't
it
make
was.
it.
Yeah.
Who's doing hookers and blow? Apparently me.
Yeah,
I
you
really
want
didn't
to?
think. I didn't think. Oh, it's because he didn't have much to say. Andy sort of had a lot.
I think
to
they
say.
go hand in hand, right? You blow off the hookers. Right?
Nah, my body was sadly broken like the week before that. So
Yeah, was that what it was the week before? It
Yeah.
was your leg? Yeah. Yeah, it sucks, especially because we're sitting, which is also, I don't know if that's good for your condition, but it's not good for most conditions.
not for long periods of time.
Yeah.
It's like I even have an issue where if I sit for a long period of time, like it'll hurt so much that without realizing it, I'll start to press my foot like down
Again,
into the floor.
Down into the floor,
And
yeah.
and I'll do it for so long and so hard that then when I try and sort of get up and stand on it, it just buckles under me. It can't carry me at all.
Yeah. So again, we are the health podcast. We're the Awesome
Yes.
Fitness podcast. Thanks for joining
Yeah,
in.
Yeah.
Health
Mhm.
tips.
Kel,
for you.
$5 super
Exactly.
chat. Absy sounds like the real hero here.
Oh yeah, my superpower is premature ejaculate.
Wow.
And the editing is just on the side.
That'll be
Yeah,
edited
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
For sure in the video. Anyway, or it'll be like some person squeezing a grapefruit. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. We got a new Star Wars game by an old developer or prior developer. I don't want to call her old, but it's Amy, who was doing 1313 before she left. And before that game was cratered. And now she got hired to do another game, that's interesting to me. And I talked to some people behind the scenes. Won't spread that around, but we will talk around Star Wars. Borderlands got some new stuff announced. Tales of the Borderlands, right? Tales of the Borderlands.
Yep.
What would
Two.
two?
Well, it would be the second one. Yeah.
Was Tales? I don't think I like Tales of the Borderland as much as the regular games. I'm almost 100% sure I was not a big fan. Were you guys a fan of Tales of the Borderlands?
It
I don't-
was
yeah.
good. I didn't like the ending, like the last battle.
Okay.
at the
But
end,
I've never
last
played a
episode.
single Tales game, nor Life is Strange, nor any of that. Other than Detroit, I played Detroit and Heavy Rain. You love that, right, Silver?
Oh yeah, big
No.
fan.
Oh, I thought that was
Yeah.
being completely serious. I was like, no, don't do it. So there was that. There was, yeah, like I said, the Star Wars game, Dying Light sold 5 million copies. Dying Light 2 sold 5 million copies, man. Dying Light 2's knocking it out of the park. They're doing really well, which is awesome. You know, I wasn't in love with it because of the bugs and stuff, but it seems like it's doing good. We're going to talk about game ads. Right now, it seems like gaming's under attack. It's either NFTs or it's game ads or it's microtransactions.
Are NFTs still a thing?
Are NFTs still a thing? Yeah.
I feel like it died. Like
You know
it
what?
came
You're the bad
to-
part about gaming, Absy. You're the guy who gives up the fight the moment he doesn't hear about it. You gotta stick to it, man. You gotta stick
Dude,
to it, dude.
I'm too lazy for that
Be a
shit, man. I just want to play my games.
it's not on my plate anymore. It doesn't
No.
exist. Yeah, it does. And we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of stuff we'll talk about. What have you guys been playing in chat? What have we been playing, Silver? What games have you been engaging with this week?
Still on Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Finally got around to playing the DLC for it.
Mhm.
Currently with Legacy of the First Blade. Going to move on to the Atlanta stuff after that. Never did get a chance to play that.
I think you will be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I'm liking it so far, though I do think like the story stuff with the DLC does sort of conflict with just the nature of how they've built that game narratively.
Mhm.
In terms of like the freeform stuff, because like you get like in Legacy of the First Blade, obviously Alexios Cassandra starts a family, and so it starts becoming really, really noticeable that your other family that you basically connect through the original campaign doesn't factor in at all. Like there none of the other outside characters factor into the Legacy of the First Blade content at all, whether it's like Barnabas, your mother, your sister, your adopted father, your stepbrother, whatever. None of them sort of appear, even though you got like raise a child in the Legacy of the First Blade content. They don't make any appearances, which is a bit odd, sort of given the narrative context of the game, and it sort of stands out a bit, which I understand why, because they want to make that content available as soon as you start the game, basically, and as soon as you start sailing in the game. But it's just it makes the narrative sort of fall apart and lose a lot of impact as a result. But otherwise, yeah, enjoying it.
Anything else?
Also,
besides that?
yeah, a bit of. I did actually also play last week, but I forgot to mention it. Lego Star Wars. Having fun with that.
Nice.
You and Lemon Streak
also,
doing no, Lemon doesn't. Yeah, Lemon lives near you, right? Lemon Streak lives. Doesn't he live in the same
yeah,
city?
yeah. He does, but no, we haven't played that co-op.
Oh, okay.
Also playing. Let's see. Still Hunt Showdown a bit. Playing some indie games, Norco, Chinatown, Detective Agency, and this week's indie game of the week. Godlike Burger.
That's what I make. It's the only burgers I make.
That's mostly what I've been playing.
Alrighty, Johnny, regale us with.
Yes.
What titles you've been
So
playing?
I've come back to Final Fantasy 14, which is nice. So I'm making my way to the final expansion there. That's been good. I've been playing League of Legends as well, where I've ironed out my strat that I'm gonna use for climbing. So I've started my ranked.
You're
climbing.
down a very dark path. now.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and that's been really good. I have a structure where I play 3 blocks. So this is 3 game blocks, right? So I sit down and I'm gonna play 3 ranked games, no more, to prevent tilt queue. Because if you lose and you start to play on a tilt, that's when you go on losing streaks. So
Yeah, I used to just play until I lost twice in a row.
that's also a decent strat. It's just I don't have that much time, so a 3 block is pretty good. And then I do reviews, so I actually review the games after. So it's a process, but yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. I really love the process of getting good at stuff, whether it's like
Get good.
music or a game. Like this kind of stuff really I like. And then also actually come back to AC Odyssey because there's a bit of a lull in games. That is a game that I loved playing but never finished. I played like 60 hours on release, but so much DLC has dropped for it. And I was also a bit unhappy with Alexios. So now I've started a fresh save with Cassandra, which I think is a more interesting, at least for me, I'm enjoying more the portrayal of the character there. And I'm going to play through the game and the DLC because I've found that for me is the AC that is just fun for me, and I can always come back. Even if I've been away from it, I can kind of easily jump back and still have fun with it.
Very cool.
Can you identify what you find like more interesting about the Cassandra portrayal than Alexios? Because it is a very popular debate, but it's just one I often have trouble understanding because they're written the same. They don't really get different lines or stuff. So they are essentially the same character to me. But I see a lot of people like gaining a preference for one or the other.
There's something about his mannerisms and his attitude that rubs me the wrong way.
He's got a goofy machismo. On the other hand, she's got a goofy butchness, but I think.
Yeah, I mean, he has the
they're very similar. I take your point,
but I get why he could turn, or she could. I get why both could be like.
Yeah,
right.
Also, she has a very cute side braid. I mean,
oh
I'm
my
a simple
God!
man.
Here we go. Next up, Absy. We're not talking about it. Absy, what games you been playing, man?
Recently I just got back into Tales of Arise because I never beat that game. I only played it for like around 20 hours. It's really good. I started over because I forgot fucking everything, like from story to characters to how to play the damn game. But I got back into it, and dude, I'm enjoying it a lot. Like the combat's fun as hell. The characters I really like, except one character who's overdoing it a little bit. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, everybody knows who you're talking about.
Yeah, you always get that one person in JRPGs standoffish, right?
Every time, yeah.
But damn, dude, like some scenes are just jaw-dropping and crazy shit, pumped up shit. Some of it is like sad. The combat's very fun. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Nice little Elden Ring I was used to, no cutscenes at all, and then boom, just like cutscene every two seconds.
Right. But it is cool to have a pause sometimes.
Yeah,
you
yeah. I
know,
mean, I'm
drinking some back and
chilling,
be
you know,
like,
sitting in
"Oh,
my
watch
chair,
this." Yeah.
watching. Yeah, my characters are talking to each other and stuff, but they can't stop shutting up in combat. You know, I wish you could turn that a little bit down, but other than that, you know, the combo system
Frequency
is
is really
awesome.
high for
Yeah.
yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
games, but that
Oh,
game
yeah,
in
baby.
particular. And then the one that Reg didn't like with the shitty compressed voices on the Switch, Xenoblade,
Yeah.
Xenoblade
Oh.
2.
Chronicles.
Those
Mhm.
motherfuckers,
Yeah.
man.
Oh
You
god.
just like,
Exactly.
oh
Of doing that shit in JRPGs,
my
like
god.
itadakimasu, you know, like
Yeah.
No, you make it sound no. That's the wrong source material.
I know.
We're quoting.
I know
Is that it?
itadakimasu is like after the E, right?
Itadakimasu.
Is that it, Absy?
Yeah.
You've been playing anything else other than Tales?
Other than that, just like some Risk of Rain, you know, some co-op Elden Ring, some, you know, some other shit, you know, some Tiny Tina.
Excellent. Rake, $5 super chat. I found 5 on the ground today, so here you go. That's about what it's
Nice.
worth. By the way, thank you for the super chats. They help the channel, especially when it comes down to, you know, how we run this kind of stuff. It absolutely helps everybody here on the channel. So I definitely appreciate the super chats and appreciate you guys tweeting it out and stuff. Reg, what other than Lost Ark have you been playing? We'll start there.
Only one game.
What is it?
Ease 1.
One?
Yeah.
Damn.
Wait, is he
son.
saying the Yeez? I thought he said E.
Like
Yes.
why-
Oh
yes,
my god,
yes,
that's
yeah,
an old
yeah.
game, bro.
Yeah.
1987.
1987.
The newest
Bro.
one just came out like
Is that-
a couple months
I
ago.
think that's what he's doing,
Yeah.
right? You're gonna
That
Tales
was
of
our
Arise
it was our
this
indie
thing?
game of the week. Even.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I played through the first one and started the second one. Yeah, so
Cool.
I'm slowly gonna work.
Oh,
my
he's
way
doing
through
the same
those.
thing he did
He's
with
Holy
the
shit.
the
The
other one.
Madman.
That's sort of a cool idea on those games because that's you're talking.
Yeah.
There was one for that's Genesis. No, is that SNES for the original SNES? Yeah, it would have been 87.
Probably NES, right?
No,
Yeah,
it
87
it would've
was
been
NES.
NES.
87 is
Yeah.
NES.
Yeah.
NES, yeah.
So you got what do you got? NES, and then what's your what's 2? What are you playing on 2?
I mean, I got
though
them
you're
all
using
on
emulators,
just Steam,
obviously.
so I don't
So
know.
okay, so and then how many are there? 3?
No, it
No,
goes
no,
up to
many,
8
many.
so or 9 is the current, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So
Oh.
you're embarked on this journey? Like you're committed to the 8 or like the full
9.
He has
Bro.
to be committed. He played the same game
Man,
for
it's
500
going to be a lot
hours
of
in the
memory
last 2
loss.
months.
The
That's-
combat and ease is pretty fun though. Like they're
It
they're
changes
fun
up
games.
too each time.
Yeah,
Or
it
not-
does.
The first 2 are pretty short.
It changes
are
up,
they?
but it's the same concept, right? Where you have the amnesia every single time.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
that
it is,
storyline?
it is,
Yeah,
absolutely
that's the
the
same.
game,
yeah. Every
Dude.
time you're like,
This guy's got
you're
dementia
stranded
so bad, his
somewhere.
brain damage. Just
But
bad
one
CTE.
thing I liked, like I only played Ease 8 for a bit, and one thing I liked is that you know how in usual games they call you adventure, in Ease 8, like someone called him, "Oh, hey, adventure" or something, and he's like, "Dude, what the fuck is an adventure?" You
Oh,
know,
right.
like
Yeah, what's
commented
the
on it,
generic
like what are you? What are
moniker?
you? Yeah, I don't want to be just an adventure. Yeah? So I like how they kind of like break. I don't know if it's breaking the fourth wall, but it's kind of spicing things up.
Adventure always to me sort of conjures up this image of the country club where they sit with the all the animal trophies on the wall.
Oh
and
yeah.
the,
Oh, you're talking about like League of
and the
Extraordinary
globe.
Gentlemen.
Yeah, basically,
I know
yeah.
exact African game hunters.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, exactly.
they're
Yeah,
like,
the
remember
safari.
back in the day.
Yeah, safari jackets and stuff. Yeah,
Smoking a pipe.
smoking
That's
pipes.
awesome.
Yeah,
All dusty.
Yeah,
Reg, so you played. So that's it. Other
Zebra
than
carpets.
Lost Ark.
Yeah.
You
Correct.
played.
That's it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Another super chat. Wizard of Smoke. Happy Friday. What's your best and worst game of the first quarter of 2022? Somebody write that down. We can answer that. Weird West is my top. Tiny Tina is my most disappointing. I'm not gonna say Tiny Tina is my most disappointing because I played some shit games, but that game is pretty disappointing to me. Yeah. Before I go on what games I've been playing, people say State of Decay 2. Let's see. A lot of Xenoblade 3 is soon. Oh, is soon, yeah. Witcher 3. People playing that. Final Fantasy 7 remake. Somebody's playing Anno 1800. I don't know who you are, but play something
Great
better.
game. No, it's good.
No, I know 800 is great.
It's awesome, dude. What? You don't like Anno?
Dude, I was so mad. It's a long story. I just was having
Okay.
issues with it. It
Okay.
wasn't like, well, I mean, yeah, I was just having issues of all kinds with it. It wasn't like necessarily I was reviewing it. Sunset Overdrive, Lost Ark, Deus Ex Revision. So I'm assuming that's a mod for Deus Ex, which
First one,
looks like it.
I believe that changes the stuff around, right? Isn't Revision the one that like almost like randomizer? I could be wrong, but this sounds familiar. Elden Ring, Minecraft, Risk of Rain. Lyrian's playing a lot of games. League. I'm assuming League. What's
Legends?
League of Legends. Thank you. Back for Blood, Hunt Showdown, Dark Pictures Anthology, AC Odyssey, Fate of Atlantis. Feet of Atlantis would be weird. Just their feet. Assassin's Creed, Valhalla, Weird West, Triangle Strategy, more Risk of Rain, Endwalker. All right.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of people playing a lot of games. So for me, I played Loopmancer for a preview, which was fun to do because they also did a demo. More demos we can get, the better. Like, that's just, to me, that's awesome.
They're coming back, man.
Yeah, it was pretty negative because it has a lot of issues, but there's something there that I sort of liked. It's got some good ideas and stuff. So
yeah,
that was fun. We'll have to see how people respond to demos, because I think people are going to respond to demos in a particular way until the developers are very smart and have a disclaimer that you have to like do a combo to get through. That's like, this game is not even in alpha. Like, it's pre-alpha. This is right after gray boxing, which is what
very rough
Loopmancer felt like. Yeah, because I could see people being like, this game's gonna suck, and you're like, it's not really about that for that kind of demo, even though technically demos probably should be more of a completed game. There should be, you know what I mean?
Or a polished vertical slice or
exactly
something.
Like, you got to figure out what you're gonna do. But it was interesting to play that. And then I played the fuck else did I play? I played
Winter Ember, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that disappointed me a lot. Because I had high expectations.
Me too. I was really looking forward.
Disappointed me. Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be like an isometric thief. And I was really looking forward to it. But
Yeah, an isometric mix of it looked like an isometric mix of Thief and Assassin's Creed.
And Assassin's Creed, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was like. I don't know what it. I don't want to say what I've told some people behind the scenes, because we talk about some stuff and we're very positive towards something. And if I say it, it'll get taken. And 6 months down the line, people will be like, this is why business is bad, blah, blah, blah. But it does feel like it was put together ramshackle. I'll just say that. If like, I'm looking at it going, what are we doing that's special? And if you're not doing something special, by the way, which is absolutely fine, then you need to have story or the gameplay cornerstones need to be good. They need to be, but they weren't here. And I was just sort of like, oh, wow, what's happening? And a lot of bugs, getting stuck in shit, man, a lot of stuck. And then the save games are far away. And I got stuck one time, and do you know what I did? I just hammered my fucking unopened pop can onto the jump, and I walked to get food. I came back, and luckily they had rolled out of the lock. But a lot of places are like that thing where you fall a little bit, down behind something, and you're screwed.
Right.
Like
the
geometry, you're like, uh-oh.
Yep.
But there was some cool stuff. The peephole thing was pretty cool. But then they give you a skill to make it wider, which was like, what?
How's that working? What are we doing?
That's creepy, is what it is. Like, your vagina is bigger. What they should have done is just said, hey, they should have just had that be the thing. Because sometimes a person will show up right in front of you, and it's not like Thief. That's another thing. It's got a lot of combat, but it all didn't feel good. So like in Thief, if you get jumped in Thief, I mean, especially somebody who's played it for a while.
Yeah, you have the sword, but
you got the sword, but even if you're good,
I mean, if it's a 4-on-1, you're not. Your chances aren't good. Yeah.
And in this one, it's weird. You can just it's a lot of swinging and just
See,
hope.
That proves that not all indie games are 10 out of 10s and all AAA games are. You just don't see the bad ones.
Yeah, that shit needs to be punted like a baby down a flight of steps. Like that's the worst idea in the world. But so I got to play that. But I have been playing some awesome games. First one, I got GeForce streaming, and I decided I'm going to do 60 hours of nothing but streaming, or as much streaming as possible that didn't impact reviews. And I've been doing X4 and X3 Rebirth. Yeah, I said Rebirth.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I said Rebirth.
Oh, shit.
I wanted to see how bad Rebirth was, and I had forgotten. Rebirth feels good for a second, and then you realize, and this is something I went back last night and listened to my review after a week of playing Rebirth and 4 mixed together. 4 is so much better, but you don't get any data in 3. You don't know how, sometimes you're like, what am I doing? What buttons, what's highlighted? What thrusters are being used right now? but I've been doing a bunch of streaming, and I can tell you right now, simulator games, those things fit streaming perfect, man. I won't even install it on Steam probably anymore. Like if I like a
what do you
car
mean by
mechanic
that?
simulator, the car mechanic simulators, any of those simulators that don't require instant movement, I will.
Oh,
most
I
likely,
see what you mean.
Because dude, I was
more
just,
methodical games
and you
stuff.
can still use your thumbs without feeling like everything's bouncing off shit.
Right.
X4, phenomenal on streaming. It actually worked really well. It's been a blast. I've played more hours now in X4 on streaming than I have in real life. But yeah, it was fun to mess around, man. But motion controls, they suck donkey balls. I just don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do, guys, because mobile to progress, you can't keep putting thumb pads on shit you put in your pocket. It's fucking not gonna work. And I've seen a lot of things on Amazon. I don't know if you guys have seen the new one. It's pretty intelligent. It's a clip that goes over the side of the phone or tablet and then touches the screen, and you can move using Steam. You can move around your joypads. You move it under that, and instead of having a suction cup, which was the old style, this is this clip with a joystick at the end that touches the actual screen instead of your finger. But the screens just aren't the same as analog. Analog has throw because it's length, and there's some trigonometry there that I don't understand. There's stuff about acceleration. They got to figure that out, man. Because like no matter
do
what,
you
I
not
was
use
playing,
like the normal just like the controller attachment stuff, other than like
so I
using the
tried,
touchscreen?
but my tablets are pretty big.
Okay, so it'd be
It's
weird.
probably sitting like that.
Yeah.
It's like-
So I have the 14-inch tablet, which is a monster. I have a 20, 21 or whatever that other one is, which is even bigger. The one that works is the 10, but it's just big enough that it's uncomfortable.
Do you
over
ever
long
like
periods of time.
while you're laying down use it and then it like falls on your face?
Yeah,
Does it hurt?
I cut my own
Yeah.
face. I cut my own face. I have a
Shit.
Samsung. Samsung are normally heavy. They have sharp edges, and I
Nice.
broke the glass, tempered glass that I put over the screen, and it was sharp. And I was playing, and I just did that thing where your brain is like, I'm a little tired, and it just let go. And I was like, "Sgat!"
Yeah.
Cut me right in the eyebrow. But
Wow.
I just want to see those succeed, man, because I'm playing Xbox streaming, I'm playing all this, and I'm like, where are we going to go if we can't figure?
Let me ask
like,
you this.
the
Did you get
movement
it to work in a different room? So for example, right, if your router is in the living room and you go to your bedroom, does it still work?
Yeah, I have
It
five.
does.
I have 5E, 6, and 6E, or whatever.
Okay.
I've got all of them.
So really
including-
good Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On 2.4, you can play simulator games, maybe. Well,
Okay.
you can.
Yeah.
You can, but that's getting to the point of the bandwidth. You really need to adjust your settings. 5 is fine. 5, I can go
Okay.
pretty far away. 6 is incredible latency and speed-wise, but it's like 5 where it's distance. It seems better than 5, but it's like you don't want to be out in your backyard trying to play. You'll start to see those. But I will tell you, be smart. Drop your megabits down to like 25, which by the way is better than YouTube. 99% of people uploading
or
on YouTube
Netflix.
or Netflix, and you can play pretty well as long as you do that on purpose.
Okay.
If you sort of
Yeah.
restrict it on purpose, Steam doesn't go nuts with the buffer. It's like this is exactly or Moonlight.
Yeah.
I got it
Yeah,
right.
we said it correctly.
I
Yeah.
think so.
So
we had it with so many different names that by now I'm also confused.
yeah,
Should have
yeah.
been Moonbeam.
Moonbeam.
It should have been Moonbeam.
Moonlight,
Doesn't
yeah.
it sound right? Moonbeam.
'Cause
You're
you beam
you're
it to
beaming
the-
it. You're beaming it. It's magical. But
Lost
I don't know
is
about you
Moonlight.
guys.
Okay.
I
got
am
it.
so excited for the streaming future when like somebody figures that control out, which somebody smart,
Yeah.
you know, well, guys, like I played a lot of fucking hours, man, streaming, and I'm pretty happy with what I like. And now
Nice.
there's all these joystick control digital front ends you can put on, whether it's Steam, Moonlight, but there's now third-party ones that can mimic Bluetooth, so you can have like keyboard macros. You can do some crazy shit. I still had some issues, with like it windowed versus full screen, where like Steam.
You
would
know,
fuck
it's
up or
interesting
something.
because all of us have, big monitors and stuff like that or TVs. But at the end of the day, we all seem to like to just take like a tablet and, sit back and,
Dude, Skyrim.
there's
on
something
the
about
Switch,
this-
Johnny.
right? Yeah.
So good, man. Yeah, just the
There's
small
something
screen.
about the screen being close
Intimacy.
to you.
Intimacy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Anyway, that was it. So, but streaming, if you guys get a chance, check it out. What was it, Reg? It's 1080p free right now for GeForce. Is that what it is for How does it go with GeForce?
They added demos. That was the last thing I
They
knew,
added demos,
but
yeah. And higher is guaranteed now at 2080, I believe, is what they said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the free tier is, I think, also time limited in some way.
You're right. You're right. There. And by the way, premium is, Reg, I think it's 10 hours, but for a normal person, that's fine. For me, that's a shitter because I actually bumped against it, and you have to sign out and sign back in. It also, by the way, GeForce loves to be like, "Are you still there?" Like Netflix. Netflix will just pause your shit. You're laying down, maybe you're having some sex, whatever, and Netflix is like, "Are you still watching?" And you're like, "Come on, like just keep
the background noise."
Anyway, Jensen says $7 super chat. Do you guys think a time will come when owning hardware will become obsolete? I do. Maybe not obsolete, but what's the term? Like vinyl.
Yeah, true.
Where
exactly. There will always be enthusiasts, right? That like the gear.
Yeah.
But
$10 super chat. Ton Beef F NFTs. Fuck F NFTs, I think is what he's saying. And Wizard of Smoke did ask the question, so I'll pan it to you guys. What's your best and worst game of the first quarter of 2022? Go ahead.
Elden Ring.
Biggest
disappointment, best game, hands down. And biggest disappointment is probably Stranger of Paradise because I was looking forward to it because I love Neo.
True, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Okay, those are good answers. Johnny, do you have any? Best and worst. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be worst like you're slamming on it. You know what I mean? But just like
because I don't play stuff that I don't like, right? Because
what did you put down you didn't expect then?
Well, I will say this: Dying Light for me had a lot of disappointing things. Even though overall I liked it.
I got you.
A lot of things like some of the fights, right? Some of the clumsiness there.
Yeah.
The final boss fight with like 3-4 phases, all this kind of shit really soured my experience. And it was disappointing that I didn't want to come back to it because I just finished the story and I was done, right? I didn't want to come back and do parkour.
That's it.
I was
You're
done.
Out. Okay.
Yeah, I was out.
That's a good. I mean, that's a fair answer.
Yeah, it's a tough call for best game because Horizon and Elden Ring would be like my two that I'm thinking about, and they're so different. It's kind of hard to pit them against each other. In some ways, I think what Horizon has done is more impressive, and in other ways, I think Elden Ring's is
agreed.
So. Take that as you will. I can't decide. I will say, because I'm a Souls fan, I will just say Elden Ring if I had to pick one. But
you do.
I do have to mention,
Elden Ring. All right. Silver, what do you got?
Game like Johnny, it's very. I mean, like Johnny, it's very difficult to decide on the best one. I think because we've really been spoiled here early 2022. Amazing games pretty much every week. And I struggle to single one out as like the best or most memorable, but maybe the one you poured the most hours into was Elden Ring, but I don't really think it's that for me. Maybe it does go to Warhammer 3. I know a lot of people had issues with that game, like with the structure of its campaign, but I enjoyed it. I still enjoy it. I still play it. I've just actually started a 4-player multiplayer campaign in it. That maybe we'll never never get finished.
We'll never finish.
But the multiplayer campaign, 8 players in that game, and the fact that you have simultaneous turns in it is just an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah.
I'm sort of in awe of it still. Like it works. Like there are issues. You'll run into bugs occasionally. There are crashes sometimes, but you can recover from those, and it works. It's fun. So yeah, it would probably be Warhammer 3 for me. Also as a sort of building block foundation for the game going forward. It's really, really solid.
What about a disappointing one? Like maybe just one you put down quicker than you thought you were gonna, than you thought you were going to.
Yeah, I haven't really had. I mean, maybe biggest disappointment is actually the one I didn't play, which was we just talked about, which was Winter Ember, because I did have expectations for that going in.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I got you.
So hearing about the issues with that game, is disappointing.
Same, yeah.
Sort of came out of nowhere for me too. I didn't really know much
I don't
about
know.
it. And then I saw like
My
people
friend
posting.
DM'd me it like a couple days or a week before it came out, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I immediately wishlisted it, and then I saw you reviewed it and you hated it, so I was like, "Well,
Yeah, odd game. What about you, Absy? Most like best... Oh, did you already give yours?
Yeah.
Then we got
Elden
Reg.
Ring versus...
Reg was looking online, I think, to look at the games he played.
I was looking at my Steam library.
I purposely saw
Lost
you look
Ark?
online, and I was like, I'll go last with. I can already tell where Reg is going. All right, so
I was looking. I mean, Lost Ark gotta be the winner.
Yeah,
I've
yeah, and
really
it's a fun
played,
game. It's a good game.
I've barely played anything else since it came out in, when was it? February 8th or something?
Dude, that's nuts.
So,
Yeah, you
Prior
ignore
to the
it.
big games.
The 2 big games coming
Prior
out,
to
right?
those. That's awesome. No, that's awesome because that means you have those. If you,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
That's what's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
but before that, I looked, and I guess from those that I actually played and then dropped, it would be Dying Light 2 for like game that didn't grab me.
Didn't grab you. Man, I can see that. Like it definitely seems like it's popping up on people's radar as a game that's like people liked but didn't. I don't know. It sold well. We have that as a news item. They sold 5 million copies, so it's doing well, and I'm happy for them.
It's a good game, I think.
Yeah,
but yeah,
maybe it just came at a bad.
Yeah,
time.
I mean, it undoubtedly it did, but I think it is also just it doesn't really
anything.
do anything particularly unique or stand out in a particularly noteworthy way, which is really sort of harsh to say, maybe, but I mean, the open world in it is massive, and it does have a lot of content to offer you, but it does sort of get a little long in the tooth, and repetitive for me as well. But that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it or that I don't think it's a good game fundamentally.
I think what it set out to do, or the high points, like the story, the choice and consequence stuff, that I think they did have issues, right? Yeah, it did have issues in development. You know, they had to change writers and all that stuff. But I think as a game as a whole, without focusing on the choice story stuff, it's a good game with good mechanics and it feels good.
Yeah,
but
and
what
given all those issues, Absy, I'm happy that they released a game like that's.
Well, you played it and beat it, so it's obvious.
Yeah,
most of us.
I was happy with it overall.
Yeah, me too.
So
me too.
And I was worried.
It was a fun co-op game too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I was laughing because I was looking at the Steam library again, and it says last played February 7th. Well, that was the day before Lost Ark came out.
There you go.
Dropped and forgotten.
Yeah, and it's weird because if you look at the games that did do well and like what was stunning, like Lost Ark doesn't do anything particular special. It has a ton of content, which to me is special because most don't. So like to me, that game, that's its specialness, but it doesn't. But that's why people.
It doesn't do anything that no other game has done before. Yeah.
Right. It's just that it has more of it, and it's solid. It's had years to be solid. And then you look at Horizon, which technically is a fucking unbelievable. But at the same time, it does have some of the combat issues that one had. It doesn't fix a bunch of shit.
Yep.
And then you have Elden Ring, which has its own issues. It had a ton of problems on launch. It still has stutter for a lot of people, even on our own Discord, who just now are trying to play it. But at the same time, it's also does more of what people like.
Yep.
And changes some things for sure for them. So it's been a good year, though, man. It's a good year when your most disappointing game is Dying Light 2.
True.
Does that make sense? Like,
True.
that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Because Dying Light 2 at a different point would have been, no matter
Way
what,
better.
It would have been like,
yeah.
Well, no, I mean, no matter what we would have been talking about, it been like, wow, it was a really good game. But now its comparison is skewed.
True.
Because like Lost Ark, how do you compare with a game that you played 500, like
almost 500, yeah.
Almost 500 hours with? Like, it's a weird compare. At that point, you're just like, all right, that's a comparison.
I mean, ignoring Lost Ark, I would otherwise have gone for like best game Tunic. Like that game I didn't really know anything about before it came out. And it's just awesome. with the whole concept of its manual that you can't really read apart from a couple of letters, but that people have managed to decrypt anyway. So now you can read it.
You were telling me that.
Yeah,
that's nuts. It shows
that's pretty cool.
You guys remember how where it had like the cryptographs of like UFOs and shit under the mountain, and then people started tracking that stuff down, and you have this world that exists outside of the game itself. It's like doing this, this crazy. That's what Tunic reminds me of with the language, where they're like, "Oh, it is something," and then somebody decrypts the entire thing. That's awesome. That's why games do have that one step above. Well, I mean, role playing, I guess. But like certainly a step above movies and books, because like that interactivity in and out is just nuts.
Yeah. It's funny though, because Futurama did a similar thing with this alien language, sort of where mathematicians and stuff started to sort of decode the alien language that
and
sometimes gets depicted in Futurama. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. Well, I mean, and I've done the same thing with that is true. I mean, like with Gravity Falls, they have a huge I don't know what the term would be, but like lore and all this crazy, stuff going on. It's just, I don't know. I love that stuff.
I mean, Chris, as a linguist, I love the language they made for, like, that's one of the another reason I love Primal so much is like the language Ubisoft language. The Winja language that Ubisoft developed for that game.
Chris Master says Elix 2 is disappointing for me, but to be fair, I played Elden Ring and Chronicles of Murtana? I haven't heard of that one. I haven't heard of Chronicles. But, Elix 2 was Elix 1.
I was hoping they would polish it up some more.
Yeah, I was hoping it looked like... I don't know, man. That was a weird game. That was a very, very weird game.
Does it feel like it was doing anything different fundamentally from the first one?
From the first one, no. But from other games, yeah. It's just that it doesn't look... It looks like Elix 1. I mean, there's some improvements, but it doesn't. It is just
still
it's
has
out
that
of time.
janky combat, right?
Yeah, it's out of time.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a game out of time, where you're like, what is it? Where is this game really fitting in anything that we're trying to do? MP says Ghostwire is my biggest disappointment. Okay, so
that makes also sense.
That makes sense because he says it is just so far. It's just really boring. Yeah, I mean, Ghostwire was pretty disappointing for me. If you don't consider it a bad game like some other games I've played, that game was, man.
And it's funny because someone else said it was their biggest positive, like it was their favorite. So I can kind of see it because it has some cool stuff, right? Like the setting. But if you wanted a kind of a deeper gameplay loop, it doesn't seem...
Or to walk around or to enjoy yourself or have a good story or good combat or good action or good skills.
It's getting worse and worse.
This is me. I got to nuke the ground before we move. I'm just joking. People like what they like, but they can also be wrong. All right, so moving on from there, what do we got? Let's talk about Borderlands for a second. So Take-Two did something yesterday, right? They did like a... show.
They dropped the DLC. Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they did a show because I saw some jokes about Randy doing magic or something again.
On PAX East, there were a couple showings.
There we go.
Oh,
so got a new Borderlands and coming or that Tales thing. But what I was asking what one rumor I had heard was that there was a Outriders style Borderlands game coming. And I gotta be honest, if there's any game where that fits, I actually think it is Borderlands.
Like third person, you mean, or
no? MMO co-op mission based online service
game. I mean, they could spice it up. It's all about the loot in that game, right? So they could spice it up, and it could be interesting. But I don't like service games to start with, so.
Yeah, they usually feel weird. But I mean, if you take that away, what games fit? Borderlands fits.
It fits.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I could easily see Borderlands 3, for example, reformatted into a service type game.
Yeah, something where I don't know how they do it, but I always feel like that's the game anyway. Not to be rude, but when I play Borderlands, I usually feel like it could be a service game.
Yeah,
I wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
As in, it already feels that way with the missions, just like.
And they have a big focus in Endgame as well.
And
right?
They have a whole fucking thing about grind.
Except I think their side quests are a bit more like unique than than I've seen in live service games. Like
Than
go here.
like
No, I
in
agree.
Outriders.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like Borderlands has like funny
Oh,
deep
true.
quests
Okay, I
that
get what
actually
you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
yeah.
Well, then there we go. That's a perfect choice. Have them.
That's a plus.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
I want them to do this. I'm saying if they were, then maybe they would add. Maybe we would now have a service game with good side quests. Is what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah,
If they
exactly.
did. Because you are right. They do have, and they have good sounds for the most part, good voices for the most part. Wasn't a huge fan of Tiny Tina, as much.
Well, yeah,
but,
that's funny. You guys didn't really enjoy it, right? I had a lot of fun with that game.
I mean, these guys might have. I don't know if we've returned to that well. Did you guys? Anybody do Tiny
No.
Tina's one? Okay.
I did. I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not anything special.
You seem a little lukewarm, bro. I'm feeling you a
I
little.
mean, hey, I'm appreciate. I mean, some quests go hard. There's a whole like
Yeah, he did
the,
bring up
the
side quest
optional. Yeah, the optional. I mean, there was a whole side quest that led into a magic beanstalk, into like
That
4
was
other
awesome.
side quests, and
Yeah.
you know, there's
Yeah.
a lot of that stuff which I appreciate. I think.
Yeah,
I think. Listen, I'm not a huge Borderlands fan. 3, I didn't like that much, but I played through it. It was kind of fun. I think Tiny Tina is probably my favorite Borderlands, just because it's different and it's kind of unique in that sense, and I'm enjoying the quest.
Yeah, and
Um,
I actually like the end game stuff they have with the roguelite kind of.
The
I didn't even touch
Chaos
that.
Dungeons.
Dungeons.
Yeah.
I didn't even
Yeah,
touch
yeah, I've
that,
done
yeah.
a few of those, and they're actually pretty fun.
Can I'm just gonna get this out. I'm getting really tired of an entire mode or style of gameplay being locked to end game for people.
End game.
Yeah,
I get that. Yeah.
because when I talk about, or I was talking to Delrith, and he was covering the game. I was like, well, what are you going to do? And he's like, I think I'm going to hold off so I can cover the dungeons more, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's unfortunate, because what if that's the part somebody would love? And to grind the game, which admittedly, not a huge fan, to grind the game would be rough. Hey, what's up? Horribly Awkward Podcast. Thank you very much, man. I hope you're doing well. I haven't talked to you in a while. I don't know about you guys. We're getting that a lot. It's a MMO kind of thing. We're going to lock an entire...
Well, I
you know.
think there's a specific type of player who plays games only for the end game. And you could look at Lost Ark and, other
so
MMOs.
moving the end game might not be...
I think, yeah. And actually, I think Tiny Tina made a move away from focusing on the end game as much as Borderlands 3. Because if you remember, BL3 had a whole like mayhem system that went from 1 to 10. So you could up the difficulty up
it's like
to
Diablo
10.
and stuff, right?
And so, it was like super grindy, and it was a huge kind of end game section. In Tiny Tina, it's kind of small, right? You only have a couple chaos levels. You have the roguelite thing, which is kind of pretty small as well. So it's still there, like it's still extra end game stuff, but they've definitely focusing much more on just the main game.
Wizard of Smoke, $5 super chat. Thank you for taking that much time to answer my question. My opinion is coming from someone who hasn't touched ER and Horizon. Oh, interesting. Oh. Well, hopefully you like one of them. Silver, have you done Borderlands?
I have
this
not.
One. Have you done
not
prior Borderlands?
Yeah, I did Borderlands 1 and 2.
You don't sound like... Well, if you didn't do 3, then I'm assuming they're not like calling you. Those games...
No, I mean, I did really enjoy Borderlands 1 and 2, but like none of the characters in 3 appealed to me at all.
Gotcha.
Like none of them looked interesting to play to me. And I mean, Tiny Tina could appeal to me because I did enjoy the Tiny Tina expansion for Borderlands 2. But there's, I mean, the market is so dense with other games that I don't think I ever will get around to it, like realistically.
That's fair. What about you, Reg?
There's not enough of a pull there.
There's not enough of a pull. Same thing for you, Reg. Do you think there's not?
I don't really like Borderlands in the first place. Like I've played it, sure, but it's not a game I'm actively looking towards at any time of the day. So I won't ever touch that game.
Wow, okay. Marcus, $10 super chat. Saw some messages about Starfield. What do you guys expect it to be? Bad like Fallout 76, middling like Fallout 4, or actually great like Skyrim? Obviously, it's just a pure guessing game now. We will talk about that in just a little bit. We're going to do fall games, and that will probably lead the charge.
What if I like Fallout 4 more than Skyrim?
Yeah, me too. Well, maybe not. I don't know. They're weird games in their enjoyment, right?
I don't know. It's all about the mods for me, man. Like,
yeah, and you can enjoy doing the mods. This sounds really dumb.
That's what I enjoy. I spent 2 weeks or almost a month modding my Skyrim with like over 1,000 mods, and then I never played it, but I enjoyed.
We're all there, man. I don't know. It's like imagine a heroin addict getting heroin and then not doing it, or buying your cocaine and then just putting it on the shelf and being like, I got it. It's journey.
Like, finally, this stack of cards is working without crashing. Okay,
it's so
time to
weird.
actually play something else.
No purple texture. No purple texture in this dungeon. Okay, I'm done. And
wow. You're like, boot it up once and you're
we all do that though. We all not all, but I mean 99% of the people I talk to.
Just getting that stack of mods to work, that is the challenge, and then you're done.
Yeah, dude, it's so weird.
Yeah. It's like a mini game.
Weird.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't know. I enjoy it, man. I had to like go into Creative Engine and like render lighting and stuff, and I went deep into it.
So nerdy, but that is what it is.
Yeah, that's
fun,
last
time
man.
I did that
it's
manually.
fun.
I also applied patches and we had
when you start learning Loot and all those other side programs, and admittedly, I love File Nexus. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, I used to hate that site. I think the shit they've done with it's beyond belief. I love Wabbajack for what they started, but there's nothing like spending a 3 a.m. Saturday getting a texture to actually show up right in Oblivion or Morrowind or Skyrim and being like, oh my God.
I added my own music as well. I
had my own radio stations for Fallout 4. Dude. I don't know. What was he asking? I don't even remember. Oh, Outer Worlds. We'll get to that.
Or Starfield.
Starfield. Yeah, Outer Worlds is what I meant to say. They're the same. What else do we have for random bits of news? What's something that's popped up? What do you guys got? You got anything amazing and huge?
I heard Nintendo did another sort of takedown, I think, of like the Mario 64 guide that somebody from like the mid 90s, that it was only published in Japan, but it was like a strategy guide, and somebody scanned it in, and it really, really good, solid guide. And somebody scanned it in and put it online, and then Nintendo went after them with a takedown claim for a guide that hasn't really been available. It was never available outside of Japan, but like hasn't been printed in like 20 years and isn't really making the money or generating any profit at the moment.
Nintendo is Nintendo. They're just gonna do that shit now. That's beyond the pale. At some point, I mean, I'm not a big believer in that. Oh, I can't get this thing, so I deserve it free. We won't even get into that. I truly do not believe that. But with something like this,
it's also not how copyright works anymore.
It's also not how copyright. Yeah, ignoring the law for a second. But it's so weird that I wonder how long it was out. Like, were they like actively? Do you have an AI scanning the net, going like, "This is ours. Right. This is fucking ours." They're nuts, man. That poor whoever uploaded it, man. I hope you don't have a watermark on your fucking PDF or something. They're gonna show up at your house. Go ahead.
Because for someone who is a really big fan of Nintendo, there isn't any amount of these things that would discourage them, right? From like buying, because at the end of this, just like people could tell them these things, but they would just.
No, dude, some Nintendo fans, you could murder their mother right in front of them. Like the president of Nintendo show up, just bang them. Wouldn't even care. It's beyond belief. It's the weirdest. I don't even know how to describe whatever's going on there. That mentality is so beyond.
There's an emotional attachment to that company.
Yeah, and it's a bond, man. It's it's like a fucking thing, and it's
a covenant. You're like,
yeah. I mean, some people I've met who are true Nintendo fans, man. They're the people who are like up late at night going, I heard they're skipping Switch 2. They're doing just Switch 3, and it's going to be like 5 PS5s connected together, and it's going to, and you just like, they're they're just so, did you hear about, Nintendo's buying both companies, Sony and Microsoft? It's going to happen tomorrow, man. can't believe it, you know, blah, blah. And you're just like,
yeah.
And I do have real friends who are that, people are close with Sony. It came really close, especially with Final Fantasy moving from Nintendo to Sony and all that continue. And then over time, I noticed that tenuous reality thing was stretching to PlayStation fans, but there's still something when you get into like a conference or whatever, and there's a Nintendo fan, they exude a certain just ignorance of reality that you can like sense, like a danger sense. You just, there's something about them, man. And if you're a Nintendo fan, I am directly talking about you. I'm just joking. I'm not. It's just some Nintendo fans. They're like that.
Yeah, it's not all like hashtag not all Nintendo fans. Yeah,
Not all you dummies. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I used to like them, but not that much. I don't know. Maybe it helped them through.
I mean, you get a lot of those reactors too, like crying to like the stupidest
oh my god, the
announcements.
trailer! Oh, it's so
when they announced like Skyward Sword instead of what everyone's been wanting, and they were like, "Oh my god, I love this game."
Everybody wanting what did they want? They wanted
Twilight Princess and
right?
and Wind Waker, both of them, because they both got HD remasters on the Wii U, and they just wanted it to just a port, but nope. None of that.
And Nintendo holds ports down. So like somebody can't port it. I mean, they got an emulator out there, but you get my drift. Like they're going to hammer that with copyrights too. So it's like no matter what, you're not getting
the emulator.
Yeah.
You're not getting it. Like Nintendo's like, no, we know exactly what you like. You're never getting it. Ever, man. They're like they're like the worst relationship.
We know what you want, so here's that.
You're never getting it, and if you do, we're gonna drag you through the mud to the point to where you thank us for the smallest thing.
Well, or like that Mario
Brothers.
game collection that was only sold till March.
The collector edition, so they could make you think it was collectible.
Edition.
Yeah.
Dude, that reminds me of chess. There's this idea in chess that the threat of something is more powerful than actually the execution.
Yep.
So oftentimes, right, you won't make a play that's really good because you want to leave it open so the other person is
constantly worrying about it.
Like, oh, he's gonna do it. I know it's a bit different, but it's almost like they're holding this on people's heads, over people's heads.
Assassin's Creed Japan.
Hey, we have this. We can drop it. You just have to stay faithful.
Johnny,
and we'll
Assassin's Creed Japan, man. I now firmly believe that they are ready to make that. They're just waiting till they need to make it. They're like that's because everybody's like every time they announce something, we're all seriously, what? Well, Vikings was a good idea.
Yeah,
that was a good idea. But you get my drift.
It was a bit like a Final Fantasy VII remake. Before they did that, all the fans were like, "Dude, we just want Final Fantasy VII remake." And they're like, no, here's 15, right? Yeah. Here's all this other stuff.
Here's our MMO we're going to have to remake.
Yeah.
They could do better without it.
Interesting stuff. What else do we got? So there's Nintendo doing their... Oh, wait, we have Super Chat. Solo Sword, $5, says, looks like dem Nintendo boys are up to no good. Nintendo lawyers jumping a Mario's cart over a pile of cash. Oh, gotcha. That's a unique visual. It is true. What other news do we got? Anything else in there?
There was the huge thing with the Sonic Origins game where it released. So Sonic Origins released, but the microtransactions are like up the wazoo. Like you can pay like $10 to get to unlock like an animation in the main menu screen.
That's real?
That's real.
Dude, I was getting tweets or I was getting DMs on my YouTube about that. I thought this was a joke. So what's it called?
Nope. Sonic Origins. I think it's like the first. Let me look into that.
In June with 4 Sonic Origins on PC.
Oh, it's bizarre. Sonic Origins. So it's Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and Sonic CD all remastered.
Remastered, not remade, just
remastered, and then microtransactions up the wazoo. So you have like this thing, you got Sonic Origins and you have 5 different packs, and then you have the digital deluxe edition.
Holy shit, I'm looking at this now.
So you got like there's like a table, right? So the main game, you just only get the main game. Then with like the deluxe edition, you get 100 bonus coins, mirror mode, hard missions, letterbox background, character animation in the main menu, camera controls over the main menu islands.
What is happening?
I don't know, dude.
This is real, by the way, people. If you're like me and didn't think this is real, I'm looking at this chart right now. They have one called Classic Music Pack, where all you get is additional music packs from the Mega. So this is a remake that doesn't even include the original music packs or remaster.
Yeah, wow. I guess so. And not the original animations in the main menu screen. So you got to pay for that. So that was interesting.
I think that's a good example of warranted outrage.
Yeah,
also
that seems actually
missions behind DLC, and okay, right.
Yeah. Because oftentimes we see it like a drop in a bucket, and people go, "Oh my god!" Right? It's a disaster. But yeah.
Wow. I mean,
right.
Dude. Did you guys see Sega also said their Super game's going to have NFTs in it?
Of course.
So here's a company. Did somebody just make the sound?
I made that sound.
That's awesome.
No, it wasn't.
That's awesome because that's a good reaction because it's like Sega needs all the positive whatever it can get. And I truly believe that. I think Sega's not in the greatest shape. They have good shape in some of their RTS stuff, but I'm talking about the classic stuff. Not necessarily doing well. Yakuza 3 was a fucking, or not Yakuza 3, but Shenmue 3 was a fucking disaster, right? And Shenmue, you're talking to somebody who, like, that was, when I was a kid, like, that was a shit.
The voice acting is amazing in that new one.
Next level. Sega then is like, we're going to do a Super game, in which it involves a series of games, and then immediately the next day starts talking about NFTs. And you're just like,
yeah.
So how do I'm still trying to wrap my head around how an NFT game would work. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. You know what I mean? Like, what is the interaction between the player and buying the NFTs from a game? Is it like you discover like a dungeon and then beat the boss and then you get an NFT? Or do you
because that's what Breakpoint did with the little stencils on the side of the helmets. It was just like,
and then you just have ownership and you can resell it.
You can resell it. Mm-hmm. Which you could also do in Second Life. Just get it out. I'll just get it out.
Or in Steam.
Or in Steam. Ultima, did they have an online store? Ultima Online?
I don't know. Diablo 3 did on launch.
Yeah, they did not. So, long story short, NFTs are not in any way, shape, or form required for this.
Watch for the rebranding, because remember back in the day with the loot boxes?
Yep, loot boxes.
They started calling them MTX, surprise mechanics or some shit.
Atari already did
Bro,
that was EA doing that, yeah.
Now NFTs to the point where whenever it is mentioned, people just lose it, right?
Yeah,
people lose their shit.
True.
They're like,
so what are they going to call them? So they'll take NFTs away, right? They'll call them. They will.
There you go. That's what I remember. At the Atari collection, they already tried that for a little bit. They called it GFTs instead.
Like see, that's pretty stupid, right? But like,
it's like, okay, it's not
rare, valuable, rare digital owner.
No, they won't do an acronym. They'll do like surprise mechanics, soft, just like shell shock turned to post-war traumatic syndrome.
Soft collector,
soften all the sharp edges on the word. NFT is pretty sharp, admittedly. Like, when you say that, you can't, when somebody says that, there's no other word, you
strike controversy right off the bat.
It's instant because of what's happened.
I mean, that's the amazing thing about language, right? That's how torture becomes enhanced interrogation.
Exactly. It softens it for people's, like, later ability to imbibe it and choke on it. And dude, they sold us horse armor in Skyrim. Like, it started there. And look at all the shit. Online only. Oh, no. Now it's service game. You just DRM? No DRM.
No, it's not DRM.
It's just service game.
You need to be online for
You just need to be online for every fucking thing. Oh, buy this. You want a physical game? Sure, no problem. But you have to be online to download the other half. It's so that, I mean, it is, right? It's slowly just poisoning you. They want the effect to not be instantly seen.
It's like,
But it's still there.
It's not a DRM. You just have to be online all the time for the leaderboards you don't care for.
Yeah. And the leaderboards happen to be in the main menu, which won't load if you're not online. You're like, wait, what? And that's what they do. They wind you around this circular. And admittedly, not all companies do this, which is great. Not all companies. I mean, we always pretend like every company's doing this, but a lot of companies, their own owners don't agree with this. Like, maybe because they're gamers. So don't forget that it's easy to hate everybody, but there are actually some big people in high positions who are like, fucking no way. Like, we're not doing this. Like, it doesn't fit our growth. It doesn't work in the future. So, well, that was depressing.
Yeah, I mean,
well,
not every chemical company is DuPont, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's absolutely true. That's exactly it. And not every scientist working at DuPont is evil, right? Yeah. There are people there who truly do want to cure cancer, not give it to everybody. What were you going to say, Johnny?
Well, I wanted to segue into a positive, which is Lego had a massive like blowout sales in the UK. So listen to this, right? And apologies, this is only UK data. I couldn't find like global data on this. But for one, it almost matched, and this includes physical and digital. So this would be Steam, Xbox, and all this stuff. It almost matched Elden Ring's launch in the UK in terms of numbers. And 61% of the sales were digital as well for it. So in the month of April, it was in the number one position of digital sales altogether for like all the platforms participating in that. So, I mean, that's huge. Is that normal for a Lego game to?
No, it's way bigger. They were showing the Steam numbers.
Yeah.
It's beyond. And do you know why? It's not only because it got delayed to be better, but it is genuinely a good game that does genuinely change the way Lego feels a little bit. It's not like you're not going to play it and go, what's this? Like an idiot. You still know it's Lego, but it changes stuff up enough. And graphically, it looks, I think, what people are hoping. You can still make a toy game look good, and that game looks phenomenal.
I think it's a mix of all those things. Also, the fact that the market is a bit starved for Star Wars games.
True that. Yeah.
Also, that I mean, just in general, in terms of like the gaming market, the goalposts for like a blockbuster or like a high selling game now have been moved substantially more. Than they were 3 years ago.
Yep. Unrealistically so.
So games sort of tend to, like, the big games sell a lot more now even than they used to.
Don't you also agree when you see like Capcom? Remember how Capcom every week is like, this game didn't fucking meet our sales goals.
Tomb Raider only sold 5 million.
Right. Who's doing the fucking math? Yeah. I do believe some of this is, it's almost like
that was Square
Bethesda being bought by Microsoft. People are like, whoa, shit's way overvalued. I feel that not only is the company's overvalued, but the expectations of sales are so, like, for some Capcom in particular, I really wish I could get a Capcom financial person to come on and be like,
Capcom and Square in particular.
Explain that. Oh, Square. Yeah, it didn't really sell well, and you're like, wait a minute, man, the numbers are showing this game is like, so where is that money lost?
Babylon's Fall, right? With its 5 players that still remain on Steam.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's definitely interesting to see.
Also, that Chocobo racing game they made for the Switch, Square.
There's a Chocobo racing game?
I didn't know.
Yeah, it's a Chocobo Mario Kart game. And basically, like, there are, and it's basically an iteration of like a mobile game, as far as I know. And they have like it's a solid $60 title, but they have a lot of the same like mobile game infrastructure in the Chocobo racing game
stuff, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Johnny, just go to the Golden Saucer, dude. You can race Chocobos there.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
There's a mini game in Final Fantasy, the MMO, but it's not very.
I don't know if I'm shit at it or.
Somebody in chat says, didn't Square also bitch about Tomb Raider? Yeah, trust me. Everybody involved in that Tomb Raider deal probably doesn't ever want to bring it up again. Yeah, Square in particular is really high stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I mean, obviously they aren't. I am, but at some point you look at it and you're like, fucking someone Get a Steve in there.
Yeah.
Every company needs a Steve. Financial company needs a Steve to be like, do we really want to sell 200 million Dragon's Dogma? Do we think there's 200 million people out there that
yeah.
Like,
manage expectations.
And I like the games, and even I'm like, what do you think? That's impossible. Like, what your sales expectation? What was it? There was one game in particular we talked. It might have been Resident Evil. I can't remember, but there was one game in particular where they said it didn't meet their sales, and we looked up the sales, and we were like, the fuck, because every other AAA company would have dived on those numbers and been like, holy shit. It makes you wonder how much money in the back they're spending on something. You know, like maybe they're spending money on something we're not aware of. Yeah. What else do we got for news? Anything?
Star Wars?
It Takes Two movie being produced by The Rock.
Yeah. Each peck will play a different character.
That was interesting.
I mean, that's a weird one, right? Don't you guys think It Takes Two is like, I guess it'll be a Disney.
I think it's being produced by The Rock. It's being financed by Amazon, and the writers are the same that did the Sonic movies.
Okay.
What are they going to do with it, man?
It'll just be like a Disney show about two parents who are having a bad time who get
and that annoying ass book.
Basically a Hallmark movie.
Or Hallmark, or like not a. I was going to say the big green guy, but not him. Not Shrek, but like
the Grinch.
No, I just mean, you know how like we're getting a lot of these side cartoons that aren't Pixar. That's the way I feel. And there's nothing wrong with those. I don't know what to call it. Not Pixar cartoons.
Yeah, like animated.
DreamWorks kind of,
Yeah, and goofy, some goofy characters to sell your hamburgers at McDonald's. I mean, because The Rock, as much as I think the dude's work ethic is amazing, that guy'd sell his nipples. Like if he could sell them and make money.
Oh yeah, he'll market that.
He'd market the shit out of his nipples, man. So like, and sell them right off his body. Be like, I don't care. I just need 2 plates. So he's going to do the same thing. He's going to have his face on McDonald's. It's smart. There's nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong with that. That's just what it'll be. I'll watch it because I like the game enough. That's probably one of the few where I like the game enough that I'll.
Yeah, and I think it could have the sort of Toy Story magic, in the sense of like the small size, right? And we talked about it with the game where it feels cool that everything is huge.
Hey, you brought up Toy Story. Have all you guys seen all the Toy Story movies, or the main?
Yeah,
just 3. There's a 4th one, right?
Yeah, there's.
Is the 4th one the end?
So far.
Okay, sorry. What I meant was, is that the one where like the toys are given up to the next group of kids?
That was 3, right? Okay, at the end, he goes to college.
Yeah. So here's my thing. I don't know if you guys agree. Do you guys ever think that sometimes, like, I know that we always say things overstay their welcome, but some shit I don't need to see. I don't need Andy to get older. I'm okay with the Simpsons.
Yeah, that was so sad, dude. I cried like crazy.
Yeah.
I omega cried. I didn't want to cry in a Toy Story movie. I omega cried, and I didn't want to.
I don't know what that means. That's like an anime where you're the big tears, the big like.
Yeah, just fucking bawling, man. I was bawling.
I don't know about you guys. I sort of like. I'm okay with Simpsons never getting older, right? I don't need the last or senior year in high school. I'm like fucking whatever. I don't know.
I think they're. I mean. I want both. I think it's fine for like some characters, and stories or story environments or whatever to be in a time warp where no one ever ages or grows or the like. But like I've talked about the graphic novel series about Lieutenant Blueberry, which ran for like 40 years. And one of the things that sets that graphic novel series apart from a lot of other like comics, like superhero comics and a lot of stuff, is the fact that there is a consistent arc of time in that series where the main character of Lieutenant Blueberry starts as a very young man and sort of idealistic, rebellious, and he ends up as sort of just this cynical, old, gray-haired gambler by the end of the series. After like 40 years in the American West. And like his evolution and his arc throughout the way is filled with consequences where actions like friends die and they stay dead. Like characters move and evolve and grow, and like it makes actions actually matter, and it makes consequences actually matter, because that's the thing about a world stuck in a time warp, is that consequences there are no real consequences in that sort of world. Like every single, like Simpsons, every single episode, pretty much week to week, is a reboot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you get two different flips of two different sides.
I guess what I mean is for Toy Story itself, I'm a kid at heart, and I love the idea of living toys, especially if they're plotting your demise. I love that. You have to fight them off each night, whatever. I don't need to see them get older, and I don't need to see the kid go to college. I guess I just mean for some things, I'm like, dude, leave it there in like the golden age of toys. I don't need to have fucking. It got too serious, I guess. Even in the second or third one, when they meet the Sally, the Western chick who was so annoying, John Cusack's sister, who I normally like. She did the Joan Cusack. Oh my God! Like sometimes I don't need them to be so serious. I guess I don't know.
I can see that point.
It probably sucks to be named, assuming John is younger. Wouldn't you feel like a spin-off? Is it the opposite?
No.
Wouldn't you feel like the spin-off of your brother if your name is like derivative?
Depending on the year, because now he's nobody and she's in everything. She's like a side bit character, and he's like Nick Cage, pouring out to VHS stuff. Yeah, he got caged. Or Seagal.
And
no
Bruce
one
Willis,
gets Seagaled except for Seagal. But what'd you say? Or Bruce Willis?
And Bruce Willis,
yeah. But anyway, I don't know. It just popped into my head. Sometimes I don't need stuff to get so serious. I guess things just.
See,
I didn't want to cry.
I really like the arc of Toy Story up until even 4, and 4 at the end I think is the one where they go to a preschool
and they give the toys away to the preschoolers.
Yeah,
dude. That's by the way, that has to be purgatory. You ever been in a preschool? How the toys get treated? They were like, "Oh, a new age of fuck you, man."
And that's how they framed it in the movie.
They framed it in the movie, but it was purgatory. It was like the end of Lost, where you're like, "Are they dead? Are they alive? Is this purgatory?"
The island's moving.
The island's moving. Dude. Yeah, that was. How did we get on this? I apologize. Anyway,
wait, no, I don't. See, now I don't remember.
I still think it was 3 because there was also a Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, I think it was
movie.
because 4 is the one with
the Tyrannosaurus,
where she makes her own toy, like the little girl there with.
I didn't even know that.
I think 3 is the last one that I saw.
Or was the last one I saw too. Yeah. At some point, and then there's a 8,000. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this. There's like 8,000 spin-off toy. Yeah, the when VHS was big. There's like Toy Story the dinosaur. Mr. Potato Head makes a baby. You're just like, fuck. There was just so many side ones and stuff. So, moving on from there. Sorry, I have no clue. What else? What other news do we got? Actually, we can do let's do a segment. Let me do a software suggest. Get this out of the way because I've skipped it 4 or 5 times. All right.
We need a jingle. ACG Tech Spot.
No.
I need to record what you just said and have that as the jingle. ACG. Okay. So on these software suggest moments, it's like software that I've been using that I've found that I've thought was really interesting and really worked very well. And one of the ones I always talk about is everything.exe, but I found a new one, and this is purely for duplicate files. That's its main job, its only job is for finding duplicate files, and it is phenomenal. It's called Search My Files. Not even hard. It's free. It's called Search My Files. This thing has every search index you could possibly imagine. Less than this many bits. Compressed pictures, not compressed pictures. MP4 versus... And you can look for anything on all your drives. And, if you collect... Well, let's say you collect videos of some kind. Let's say you download a lot of videos of some questionable nature. You could search those, and you could cut out any, duplicate videos to save room on your video collection on your private folder. You can use it to look at pictures and verify if you have, 55 different pictures of the same art or naked lady, whatever. You can delete naked man. You can delete those, and it works incredible. I've been using it all weekend to clean up my hard drives, and I think I've got about 1 terabyte back. Especially deposit files, which is a company I use to get art for stuff. I re-download, because I can't find it on 15 drives.
Yeah.
And then I look. This thing can even search RARs. What were you going to say? Sorry, Johnny.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask, is it based on the file name? Or
Yeah,
the
you can base it
actual
on anything.
contents?
No, you can base it on a file name if you want, but you can base it on literally anything. Files smaller than 100 kilobytes, and it will search all your hard drives.
Yeah, because
and just do
copies would
those.
include like a 1.
Yep.
In parentheses.
And then it's got like a 1-for-1 compressed,
Mm.
non-compressed, every file extension you can imagine. Wildcards are fully like supported. You can do all kinds. It is really something that everything didn't do very well. It worked, but it was more visual. This is like, if you just wanted to clean up, so example, like deposit files, when you grab a couple pictures off deposit files, you could just say deposit files and just have it search duplicates. And that's a godsend for somebody like me who has a shit ton of files that are duplicates.
Or if you have copies of, like footage.
And if they're on different, it even will search network drives. So it can go to like, I have 2 or 3 network drives. I couldn't get it to search Google. I tried to fake it and see if it would like, I tried to make Google appear like a normal drive, and it wasn't having that. But so anyway, if you guys get a chance, check that out. It's phenomenal little bit of software that, for free, which I think is a huge deal. It definitely worked for me. There was absolutely no issues that I had. Let's go with indie game of the week.
Yeah, this week is I think one of the happiest surprises of the year so far for me. A game I've really sort of been enjoying and finding a lot of fun, certain strangely addictive. It is called Burger. God damn it, I forgot the
Burger King.
Burger. No, it's called
No.
because he said it, and I said that's the way I make my burgers. Heaven Burger.
Yeah.
No, a godly Burger King.
Godlike
Burger.
Godlike burger.
And basically, it takes the fundamental gameplay loop of like Overcooked, where a customer will come up and make an order, and then you have to sort of meet that order, and puts a spin on it. You are playing as the owner of an intergalactic burger restaurant.
Oh, yeah, I'm seeing this.
And your secret ingredient is your customers, basically. You have to, like, the hook is that you have to murder your customers. As they
And put 'em in a
this
burger.
went sideways real quick.
God, what?
So
I thought it was gonna be a wholesome game.
So customers will come in, they'll make their order, you'll make the order, and then you'll put stuff like in the burgers, like a laxative or whatever, to sort of isolate them, get them to the bathroom quietly,
Wow.
and then you'll murder them there, grind them up into the beef patties that you then use for the burgers for the other customers.
by
But
Liquid
this is a
Pig,
terrible
by the way.
business model.
$17.99.
And
no,
because you do it, you do it after. The
You do it
obvious
after
hook
they've
here is
spent the
you need
money.
to do it after they've actually paid you.
Repeat
Oh,
customer.
yeah.
So before they get a chance to go home. Yeah.
But they won't be coming back for another burger. This is terrible.
No,
But
but
it's intergalactic. There's so
It's
many new
intergalactic.
customers
A lot
all
of
the
people,
time.
dude.
Who cares?
There's like at least more than
Infinite.
4
And they will leave a good review for you so that you get
prior
more
to them
publicity.
being killed.
Yeah,
It was a
exactly.
great bet. Wonder why you stopped.
Yeah. Yeah. And so there's also a sort of there are 2 ways you can kill your customers. You can either kill them sort of directly yourself with your cleaver. That gets very, very messy. Like leaves a corpse, gets blood all over you, which other customers will see and then call the police. Or you could like do a sort of almost like a tower defense thing where you can set up traps that then sort of takes care of the customers for you. So like you can actually install like a tentacle monster in the toilet, in the restroom, that will then kill customers for you in the toilet when they go after you put laxative in their food. Or you can like install a trap out by the bins out back for when they go for a smoke break or whatever. And so there's also this sort of business management aspect to it as well, where you have to upgrade your restaurant, like get better ovens and stuff. There's also a roguelike,
I'm seeing the roguelike stuff right now.
Aspect to it, where when you die or you get caught, you lose all your sort of money and stock of like ingredients and stuff like that. But you do keep all of your upgrades, all of the upgrades that you've bought for the restaurant. You get to keep those so that you have a leg up when you start over.
A leg up. Was that on
Yeah.
purpose?
Ha.
Continue.
But yeah, and
Dude, this looks awesome.
just like the fundamental sort of mechanics of how like the overcooked loop system, where you actually serve up the burgers, then ties into killing off the customers, which then ties into sort of managing your actual restaurant economically in terms of like paying off the bills, buying upgrades, managing all that stuff. How that all sort of comes together feels really, really addictive.
Dude, there's fucking I'm looking at a picture here. There's like carless there's like icons for a ton of shit. Is this food?
And you have various and you have various different alien species as you sort of move from, you can progress through multiple planets, and each planet will have like different alien species that then come and visit your restaurant. They all have varying sort of preferences, weaknesses. Like some have high health bars, so they might be more difficult to kill. Some are resistant to poison.
I'll make you a burger
like
in a second. This guy's just squishy. I'm having a hard time killing him. This looks awesome, man. This is like right up my alley. This is brand new.
Came out.
I'm gonna grab it. This sounds like a hoot.
I was not expecting I thought he was making a joke when he said like, you know, your special ingredient is the people, but that is a fucking phenomenal idea to be like you're killing the people.
It's actually funny on that note because the movement Soylent Green, it takes place in 2022.
Oh, does it? Soylent Green takes place in 2020. Man, look at what we thought was going to happen. Dude, this is it got a Three Dirty Dwarves kind of graphic style. Like, I'm digging the fuck out of it. It says visitor aggressive trap activated. So the visitors can like they can attack.
I mean some will fight back or whatever. Some of the alien species are prone to like fighting back. Some are much more timid and won't fight back at all. Some will just run away, and
dude,
like they're
deep
different behaviors.
Freeze allows you to save a certain amount of meat and body parts after the chef's death. That's good times. Dude, it's too bad Andy wasn't here for this. He would have loved this game.
It's such a unique idea, man. I love this shit, dude.
I like it because it looks a little mobile, and I like the color schemes in mobile games. I just don't like mobile, you know.
I think the art style is fun for it.
Yeah, the art style looks good, and it's $20. No, it's 18. Just so people know, this is on Steam. Daedalic is the they're pretty well known. Thank you. Yeah. And Liquid,
a German publisher.
Pig is this is their first game. Looks like their first game.
Hell yeah,
dude! This
is it well known or is it just does it just pop up like?
You also have to like
it's got 41 reviews, so it's not well known. No,
you also get like quests that you have to like to clear each planet. You basically have to clear like a number of objectives or quests that you then have to sort of scratch off. And you'll also have like protesters that show up at your burger restaurant, like vegans and stuff that you have then have to sort of shoo away. Yeah.
We hate those.
Dude, this is awesome. See, those are the kind of games. I mean, your dystopia, everything's terrible kind of indie games. You know, they're a thing. But these are the ones that, like, when you mention it, that's awesome. Like, that game looks...
Yeah.
Is this game on Game Pass? I don't think it is. I didn't see any alert of this game. But I'm telling you right now, like, that is my kind of...
Watch it come out on Game Pass when all of us pick it up on Steam.
I wouldn't feel bad if the game's...
Every single indie of the week,
I know,
for the past 2-3 weeks has popped up on Game Pass.
Dude, the graphics on this are so fucking sweet when he's inside the bathroom and the fucking traps come out.
Wait, I'm gonna buy this right now. Actually,
dude, this
fuck
is
it.
The shit.
I wanna
improve your kitchen. Oh, so you can. Okay, I see.
Yeah, you can buy like better ovens so that you get like faster cooking times. You
what's this criminal system? So let's say
I love the look of this.
That's if like because there is that suspicion or awareness from your customers where they'll notice like a corpse lying in the restaurant.
Can you lower it?
You can. You can actually at the end of the day you can actually pay money to bribe the police and lower your awareness or alert level.
This is
and if it goes full, the police will raid you. They'll arrive much like in Evil Genius when the global sort of spy agencies sort of raid your island and they start walking around looking for suspicious stuff. The police will arrive and then they'll start looking around your restaurant for suspicious stuff.
This might be my favorite indie game.
Dead customers and stuff.
He's like, hey, let's play a cell phone game where the person dies on the other end and you have to fucking tell them goodbye. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Karak fucking making burgers.
But instead he's like Godly Burger. I was not expecting the twist, and that's what, if it had just been a food game, I probably would have not been too interested.
Yeah.
But this is, dude, this is awesome. See, that's the kind of stuff where that graphically, I love the look. Like, that's the happy-go-lucky kind of shit I need right now. This is awesome. So with these games though, I'm not seeing DLC. I'm seeing supporter pack, soundtrack. Looks like it might be sold separately, which that's a normal thing for Steam. It just came out. We didn't hear anything about this. Is that a publisher problem?
See, I've seen a trailer for it like a couple of months ago. But so that's about it.
Yeah, the reason why I bring this up is because it's actually, this has been popping in my head lately, is that it feels like I didn't hear about the other game I wasn't a fan of, the
Winter Ember.
Ember, and I'm getting a little bit perturbed because I'm starting to look and find it feels like they're not being they're not really being
like the marketing is not.
Yeah, the marketing from some companies, some PR companies, and I'm not gonna name names, but I've just been tracking that some don't do the best PR. We've had this before in the past, by the way. Like, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Even some AAA games, yeah.
Yeah, where we're all sitting there going like, how did we not know?
Yeah.
What the fuck? One game we talk about all the time. Yeah. Anyway, long story short, I'm just tracking a couple things because it feels like they go towards certain influencers or they go towards certain things and they just sort of step back, right? And they're like, all right, we've covered it. I did see April 13th. I did get an email. Unfortunately, I went to spam. That's a Google Gmail thing. Because if you don't know somebody, my Gmail, I don't know about your guys, but mine's instantly like, it's dangerous, which is fair. They're trying to stop you from getting horrible shit. But I would have liked to have, if I had seen this, I would be reviewing this.
I think that's what happened with Among Us, you know, like for 2 years, nobody knew shit about it until one streamer.
Among Us.
Yeah.
I was gonna
and then Soda
say something
Poppin'.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Soda Poppin' found it and played it randomly, and then it fucking blew up. Just took
a lot
took
of
over.
indie games because they don't have their like marketing budget, right? Because their budget is to make the game. So you see a lot of these indies having their main mechanism of discovery be big streamers.
Right, but what I'm saying
lucky.
is, and that's true, but what I was saying, the PR, they do have enough usually, and people like Raw Fury sign a deal where it's like, we'll do the work for free unless you sell. And then, I don't want to speak for Raw Fury, but I'm saying there's smaller publishers, and David does an awesome job. David's been on the podcast, where he'll champion a game on Twitter, and so will I. Like, even if I don't play it and I like it, I don't need money for that. If somebody says, hey, and I look at the game or I played it, I'll be like, I've already played it. I'm not going to review it, but I'll tweet about it because I do want people to play it.
Right.
What I'm saying is a couple PR companies, I feel like we're just not being like, I don't know where their money's
They just
going.
don't push.
They don't push anything. Yeah. And then when I do look on YouTube, I find, for example, Winter Ember. That's a perfect example. I did the review and I legitimately thought many people would review it because the way it looked, it was sort of a surprise and we're in a dead time.
Yeah.
It was just like 2 people reviewed it, me and one other person. I was like, what the fuck, man? Like nobody, which then hurts them because if they're trying to improve, if they do, which they are, by the way, they're doing a patch. If they are trying to improve, if you're not selling because no one's even doing reviews you know what I mean? It's like a never-ending cycle. I'm just bitching. But
do you think that game's issues can be fixed with patches, or do you think it's like more fundamental?
It can be fixed for gamers who don't expect a lot for patches.
Okay, that's a good answer.
It's
do you guys
one of those different ones. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Do you guys think for advertising nowadays, because it used to be, if you had quite a bit of budget, you would have your game on buses, right? On billboards, all this shit like in the world that people run into. But now it seems like a lot of their budget is spent like on influencers. So whether it's a Twitch streamer or YouTube streamer, they're like, hey, let's use that money to pay some big streamers to play our game. Because like the other day, Asmongold was playing some like
Vampire Survivors,
and now everybody's playing that, right? Like,
I mean, it's been huge. That game has been a huge for a while.
And I don't know if it was just him. I don't want to attribute only to him, but he was one of the
before,
big
like
people.
prior to him, it was popping.
Was it already big? But
yeah.
So maybe not the best example, but you know what I mean.
No, but I got what you mean. Like even FF, like he started playing Final Fantasy, and then everybody.
Yeah, and just his entire audience will be like, "Whoa, okay, this is cool." And
but what I'm saying and what I don't like is that developer may be done by the time that happens.
Oh yeah, like the
developer may
manga
have already be out of money and gone and done before
Yeah.
some random YouTuber picks something up, whether paid or unpaid.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, and to be, I don't know who that person, who we're talking about right now, but if that person's streaming something, are they the person where a person following them likes that same kind of game? Are they the proper fit? We saw this with Everspace 1, where Michael, I can't pronounce his last name, I apologize, but the CEO, he was saying, he came on this podcast, or he did a podcast with me, but he was saying that his PR company matched him with the wrong influencers who didn't even know what the game was. And so they were like, oh, what is it? Blah, blah, blah. And you're like, dude, you hit it wrong. Well, not everybody can be like Carnage. He's known as generic. He's not really harsh on a game, even if, and that's fine. That's that thing.
It's
but not a lot of people are that thing. And that also, how do you pay? Because their prices are raising. Trust me, I've seen them. I know how much some people get paid. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I mean,
that's my budget in a year. For life.
Daedalic in general as a publisher has, I think, a really solid catalog, but they don't really make a lot of hay. Like they don't tend to
spread it around. Like you don't hear about it as much.
Yeah, there isn't a great deal of awareness. So like they have, I mean, they have games like Ken Follett's Pillars of the Earth, which they're actually the developers of. Same with the State of Mind as well, which is also a really solid narrative sort of point and click game. So they have a really solid catalog of games actually, but they don't really, there isn't a lot of visibility there. And I think that I don't know whether that's a result of a failure on their part of doing it well, or it is just the reality of how saturated the market is and how difficult it is to actually get that visibility in the first place.
Yeah, and the cost is the cost to a person who wants you to play their game.
Yeah.
I don't think people they would not believe me if I said the numbers.
Oh, dude.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys saw, but David Jaffe was saying that like Tencent had offered him $100 million to help build out a big AAA game for them. And people were questioning him, blah, blah, blah. And I tweeted out saying, if my own experience, which I've shown people here and I've shown PR people, if my own experience with how much money they would pay a lowly person like me, you can bet David Jaffe got offered $100 million.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And we're talking pennies. $100 million is pennies, at least from what I saw.
It's fucking Tencent, dude. That's nothing to them.
Yeah, yeah. And so they raise the price though, is what I'm saying. So they come in and they're like, hey, whoever, do you want to play our game? Right? And then another one is high and another one, and because of the way Twitch works, those guys, because they're the guys, continue to get people watching them where the other people don't, who are cost effective. So even like yourself, it's like if somebody contacted you, you know that your max group is your 50 to 100 people who watch your Twitch, and then whatever you get on your YouTube back end, right? So you'll be much cheaper than him. But
yeah, of course.
To them, I think a lot of these people look at it and they're like, if we can't hit some of these big guys, we're just not going to try to hit anybody. That's what I feel is going on lately, is that they're not hitting anybody. And I don't know about this Osmondi or whatever, but whatever he does or she does, is it a girl or a guy?
It's a dude.
Gold? No, it's a guy. It's a guy.
Whatever he does, like, I'm assuming it's paid. And if it is, then a normal gamer probably, or a normal company probably can't pay it. Like
I see what you mean.
What I call normal. Us.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he does a couple, what do you call them? Bonus game streams.
Pro bono?
Pro bono.
Yeah,
like a fucking lawyer.
I've been watching for a bit now. He's a variety streamer. And I think it's mixed. Like, I'm for sure, if he got offered money, he would totally take it.
But he would also play something he likes.
Games.
That's great.
Yeah.
And Code does the same thing. I want to make sure. I'm not saying the big guys don't. I'm just saying that maybe that's why we're not seeing some of these games, because guys, Winter Ember, I think I saw the trailer in our Discord and I was like, oh, that looks pretty sweet.
I posted it because I was like, oh shit.
But nobody else had told, like.
No, I just got a DM from a friend about it and I was like, oh my God, this looks amazing.
I'm going to start looking into this because prior to Total Biscuit passing away, he had done a video like, here are the Steam keys. Here are the Steam games
Yeah.
I didn't review, but I got keys for or whatever. And then I may try to do something like that. It's the videos do terrible, which makes your next video do terrible. But the top 10s were starting to do well. And of course, I immediately stopped them. But I'll have to figure that out. It's interesting to see. I'm glad this person is streaming, not just the whatever game they do, but a variety streamer. That really does help. That's a big help. What else do we got? Let's go with updates, because I think Absy's got a shit ton, right? I saw Reg was giving you some, and
there's a lot.
So why don't we just, instead of just reading a ton of stuff, do you just want to cover?
I'm not going to read a ton of stuff. No, okay. I'm just going to talk about it. World of Warcraft revealed their new expansion, which is set to come out. I don't know, but the alpha is probably going to come out next year. So it's a ways away. But basically it's like a whole new expansion, new zones or whatever. But it's all about dragons, and it's like how to train your dragon, and you get a dragon mount that you can customize it, and it has like special mechanics to fly around in.
Or is this
new?
No,
retail, the actual current World of Warcraft. They're also coming out with a new race, which is a dragonborn race, which is like a human that turns into a dragon. And what's unique about this race is they can only be one class, which is an invoker. So that one class can only be the one race, and the one race can be the only one class, because it's like all dragon abilities and stuff like that. They're also revamping like talent trees. They're bringing back like talent trees where you actually put points in every time you level.
Also, sorry to interrupt, that the race, what's also special about that one, from what I've seen, is they can fly on their own. So because they're a dragon, they don't need a flying mount.
Oh, can they?
Just fly on their own. Yeah.
Can they? Okay. Also, they announced Wrath of the Lich King for WoW Classic, and it's like my favorite expansion with Arthas and all that stuff. And that is set to release sometime in 2022. I'm guessing in the fall. Moving on. Elden Ring.
I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
If it's called Classic, isn't it already out? Can't you?
So Classic came out, right? The original vanilla, and then they continued that to Burning Crusade, which is you don't have to pay for it.
Reset the world, right?
Yeah. Into the new expansion, right? But you could use the same character, and then now Wrath of the Lich King. Those are like the original three.
Could I, through all these years from Windows 98 when I was playing the original WoW, could I have continued to play that version of WoW?
No.
Yeah, so continuing that version of WoW comes into retail right now, and then they released the classic version, which is the old version.
So they would have like auto upgraded me at some point in a weird way. So I'm playing WoW one day, I'm playing the old version, and then one day they're like, the old version is like not a thing.
It's gone.
Moving you to the and that's why Classic.
That's why Classic came out, because people want to play the old version.
This entire time, you don't get auto upgraded. Let's be honest. Most companies don't auto upgrade, and it sounds like a downgrade because a lot of people like Classic. So I've always wondered about this particular step. Okay, sorry. Thanks. Continue.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so that expansion is coming out for Classic WoW, basically.
Okay.
Which you get to level 80 and stuff, and there's Northrend and Arthas.
Sorry, one more question.
Yeah.
Does it look better?
I think there are some graphic improvements. Wait, does Classic look better? Yeah. They made some improvements to the graphics. Like they didn't touch it up too much, so it doesn't look new. But the textures look better.
I guess what I'm saying is this isn't where they're just like, hey, Classic is back available, but it's not at all changed, right?
No, it is. Some of it is changed. Yeah,
okay.
For the better or the worse.
Question. Sorry.
Yeah. Also, Elden Ring got an update, which is just balance changes and a new quest phase. Weird West.
They added a pop-up to tell you that you should do the tutorial now.
Thank God. Okay. So you don't miss the summons.
You don't miss the jump down.
Don't miss the summons. Okay.
Oh, that too.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's good.
Weird West patch coming out on May 6th. That's I think 1.02 now. It's adding 2 new travel encounters. And Wraith and Ridgeback scenarios to secondary abandoned mines and locations. Brand new natural cave map, brand new hacienda map, so you don't keep doing the same stuff. And patch 1.03 is set for early June, which will introduce more new content and counters, and a huge focus on a global economy overhaul and a global player progression overhaul. Also, one neat thing that I saw that they did, which I have never seen any other, maybe some other developer did, but one cool thing is, so in software development, there's something called user stories, which is basically can be like features or updates or bug fixes. And basically what they did is they made a front end for users. So you can go on there and type in anything you want in the game. Like, for example, I don't want horses moving now, or I want to be able to keep all characters or whatever. There's a lot of people that posting stuff, and you can vote on what you want, and they will show you, okay, this is being addressed, this is being updated in this patch, which I thought was very, very neat. So you can go on right now, and anything you want to change in Weird West or you think it would be beneficial for the game, you can post on there. Developers would have a look and see like the priority list, which is fucking cool. Honestly, yeah. I think that's cool. They updated Quake, with new accessibility features, a horde mode, quality of life improvements, bug fixes, and modding improvements.
Quake 1?
Yeah, the original. I think it's a remaster or something, but it's like the original Quake. Lord of the Rings Online update 33 made up 7 years of content free.
So yeah, it's all free to play, right?
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing now. I didn't even know.
Nor talks about it all the time. I think Norwegian Imposter still plays that game.
Still plays it?
Yeah, I talked about it a lot.
Yeah, it's cool that they made a lot of it because, it's pretty old.
Yeah.
Stellaris announced a new expansion called Overlord on May 12th. And it's your standard, Paradox expansion. New race, new stuff. I'm not going to go into detail. Outriders has a new expansion called World Slayer, which they just revealed. With a new campaign, new zones and enemies, new loot, secondary skill tree, and ascension system, which is like plus 10 to damage or whatever, and new end game. Battlefield 2040.
Does it have a date? Sorry. Does it have a date?
I don't think so. They just revealed it.
And it was paid. Sure. I think I saw
it's an actual expansion. Yeah, it's an actual DLC. Wow, DLC. Battlefield 2042 added voice chat to their game.
Hell yeah.
Risk of Rain 2.
What? Yes. Isn't Battlefield 42 the new one? Or 24?
Yeah, they added voice chat.
That fucking game didn't have voice chat in it?
That's what I said. That's what I thought.
For 5 months or so now, and so far it did not have voice chat.
What is going on in some of these games?
Also, last month only they added leaderboards. So it also didn't have leaderboards for over 4 months.
For a Battlefield game?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, famously, not only did they not have leaderboards, but they didn't have even scoreboards for during like kill counts and stuff.
Nothing.
Wait a minute. Isn't this, but correct me if I'm wrong. I thought, is this the company that said they weren't putting them in because of toxicity?
Oh God.
Somebody said that they weren't doing leaderboards because of toxicity, and I was just like,
I mean that was the sort of narrative going around at the time.
Of like maybe
I don't know whether that was accurate.
I see. Yeah,
I don't know why else they would.
Yeah, I got you. Sorry, Abzi, what were you saying?
It's all good. No, Risk of Rain 2 got balance changes, bug fixes, quality of life improvements. Rocket League is getting a limited battle royale event called Knockout Bash from the 27th of this month to May 10th. I don't know how that's going to work, but should be fun.
It's 8 players, so it's not a massive battle royale, but it's 8 players, and apart from that, I think it's the classic. You
have to kill each other.
That gets smaller, and you fight each other, and you knock
Rocket
each other
League,
out.
Which is weird because in Rocket League is just you have to put a ball into a.
Isn't Rocket League the car? Yeah.
It is.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good way to change it up because it's been out for a long time. Change up.
Yeah. That game is insane, man. Like I could never.
It's good from what I understand.
It's good.
Yeah,
dude, the mechanic. It's like Super Mario 64, like hard to master. Easy to learn, hard to master. It's just the mechanics you can do with the cars are insane.
Abbreviated. This is Indio. Indio says.
Yeah.
The reason why when I was talking about 2042, right? He says that's why we all hated it in addition to all the bugs and poor design. 2042 did have bugs. That was also, it got rated terrible, did it not?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Okay. Want to make sure
and
we're talking about the same game.
2,500 players on Steam, I think now, something like that. So it's also mostly dead.
Wow. Okay. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Where was I? Assassin's Creed Valhalla added got a huge update. Added a mastery challenge pack where it's like 3 shrines and culminates in a boss fight. New unique rewards, bunch of gameplay and combat, like a huge amount of combat changes. I'm not going to go over them. Bunch of gameplay changes, bunch of quest changes and fixes and bug fixes and skill changes and graphics and animation and audio and bunch of shit. It's huge. The list is massive. So check it out. And Tiny Tina's Wonderland DLC called Coiled Captors dropped last night. And it was dubbed one of the worst DLCs Gearbox has ever dropped. Not worth the $10 it costs. And some people have been reporting that it took longer to find that zone than it did to complete it.
Wow.
Wait, this is for Tiny Tina already? It's got DLC?
This is for Tiny Tina. I already got a DLC last night, yeah.
And it's short from what we're... Oh, yeah, guys, Johnny had to go get... he told us he had to get a package. So Tiny Tina just released, what, last month?
Right? It released last month, yes. Okay. And you know, Borderlands with their DLC. $10, but apparently not worth it at all. Apparently one of the worst DLCs.
Has anybody ever questioned them on if this was just cut from the game for DLC? I mean, sorry, we just hear this with all other companies. I haven't heard anybody bitching, was this just cut from the game so they could sell it as DLC?
That's what people were reporting, because they were like, okay, this could have easily been free. Like, this is just a nothing, you know what I mean? It's just like a side small thing. And yeah, that's it for updates today.
Valhalla getting, you know, regardless if I don't think anybody here loved it, but man, you got to hand it to Ubisoft. Like, when they have a big game, fuckers,
they support that
they
shit.
They are, I mean, it's so cool, because even I have no issue celebrating something that, you know, even though I'm not in love with it, those guys, man, like, they're just like, dude, we're throwing.
I mean, my huge guilty pleasure, and I still sort of feel pulled back to play it on an occasion, which is also a sort of a testament to the fact that we don't really have many stealth tactical games anymore. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, like the post-launch support for that, actually, where they just completely revamped the game essentially and addressed a lot of my fundamental issues with it, was really sort of good to see from the not great state it launched in. And yeah, they did kill support for it about a month ago, but
you can still play it, right? They just killed.
No, you can still.
Did they kill
content support? They're not making more.
What you got though was a fixed, or
what we got was like 4 years
substantially improved game from when it released, and now they moved on.
I mean, I still have fundamental issues with it, but there is something about the game that keeps sort of pulling me back to it.
Has there been a Ubisoft game any of us here haven't had a fundamental issue with, though? Really? Like almost
Rayman.
Every one of them, huh?
Rayman.
Anno 1800.
Anno 1800. Anno 1800.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think we can all look at. You guys know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm talking about like their
I know. Yeah. I got you.
I think almost every one of even Odyssey. There was a lot of people who bitched about the grind.
I mean, I love Division
with it, but I love Division, but Division had a lot of issues when it came out with performance. Yeah, and a lot of level issues, if I remember. Like, they always have that level cap shit, where it's like, or you know, how they do their equipment and
yeah. Oh, I thought you meant level design, because I love their level design.
No, I love it.
I mean, if you put it next to Outriders, where Outriders is like just fucking a shooting gallery,
one is not.
Division does it so, I guess because they have a lot of debris, so they could get away with it. But fuck, man, like when you enter the museum dungeon and there's like shit going on the screen, like in the space section, and you're just fighting enemies, it's a fun time. It's a good time. Yeah.
Well, that's
plus
cool,
the shooting
man. That's I mean, all those games, they're just like, they're supporting them. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these companies, like, I'm sorry, but I don't even know Battlefield. I couldn't tell you if you showed me 3 Battlefields. I probably, unless it was like futuristic and fucking primordial, I would probably not be able to tell you, you know, which, because I think the last one I played,
the historical ones as well. You could probably identify like World War I and World War II.
Yeah, I definitely identify that, or muskets. I'd be like, all right, we know when this is. But like, wasn't there a 1 and a 5 that reversed places too, or like there was a naming?
Yeah, there's 5 and then 1.
Yeah.
And 5 is the World War II one.
Yeah, I'm not going crazy though, but the numbers were.
5 was World War II, but like it was weird. World War II, and then 1. No, 1 was before 5, which was World War I.
What I was getting to was where Ubisoft gets hammered, rightfully so, for some of their stuff. Those motherfuckers are like, hey man, look at For Honor, a game I still don't like. That game, dude. They're just
still
like,
doing
hey bitches, here's a shit ton of support. Yeah. And then you have Battlefield 9,555 or Call of Duty 8 billion that are just like just spamming in to the point to where I still don't know to this day what the open world one is versus the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because there's Black Site or Black Flag or what's the open world? Is that a Call of Duty? No, there's a Call of Duty that's like an open arena, a giant. I played it with Takedown.
Isn't that like Vanguard or something? Or...
Is it Vanguard? What's the one that's just?
You mean the free-to-play one?
Yeah. What is it called?
Oh, Modern Warfare. That's it.
What?
No.
See, this is where, guys.
No.
I think it's something to the V.
Vanguard.
Warzone.
Yeah,
Warzone.
Warzone. Yeah.
I just right there in that discussion, I explained all the problems.
Well, Warzone is like isn't it a part of Modern Warfare?
I don't. No one knows. It's
like the free version. It's like the same.
It is that you can played.
Same engine, same everything. Yeah.
Is it?
It's standalone.
Is it still out?
Yes.
Can you still play
people are playing it, like it's huge. But
okay.
It came out with like Modern Warfare has a Warzone section, and that one could be standalone.
Butterflies, like really, guys? Yeah, really. Sorry,
but yeah, even their
if you're gonna try to
convention.
pretend that those games are fucking dramatically different from each other, that's on you, man. Dude, they are.
It's also confusing because they have Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3, and then they have Modern Warfare, and then they have Modern Warfare 1 remastered.
Yep.
So it's
but didn't that get remastered twice or something? Dude,
and,
I don't know.
And then there's Modern Warfare 2 remastered, but then there's like Modern Warfare alone without any number, which is a reboot.
Beast by Nature does. Yeah, this is how bad it is. Beast by Nature says Warzone is standalone. It also regularly incorporates all the COD releases. Now I don't know what that means because they're obviously not taking.
They're supporting it across several
releases. It's the one that doesn't change. It's the one that is just there perpetually.
Like you have your regular COD releases like the classical once a year. That means the multiplayer.
So he's just saying that one's still running.
A year, and the Warzone one is still running.
That goes to show you how fucked up it is. His celebration is that it's still running.
Yeah,
like that's the problem.
I mean, the biggest news they had was that they're not releasing a COD for 1 year. They're taking 2 years instead. Which
Battlefield COD. Remember, guys, back in the day when Battlefield was first shown, people were like, "Oh my god, we're going a step up, right? It's going to be like more simulation. It's not going to be Arma, like it's not going to be that shit. But it's going to
less twitchy." Yeah.
But less twitchy, and I remember, man, being excited for those. And then there was the one where you could get into the airplane, the Battlefield that you could get. I can't remember. You launch from and I remember like it started to feel like COD, and now they're just sandwiched, man.
Yeah,
they're
it's like a larger scale COD now. It had its own identity before,
Well, what's the one I always mess up? The Call of Duty I played with Citizen Sleeve and Takedown that I like so much.
Vanguard?
And it's already done. No, I think it was
Black Ops 4.
Oh my God! See, I don't even know.
It was one in space, right?
No, I love that one, Infinite. I'll remember that one forever. Sorry, I should have been.
Was
it was the one that
Infinite?
came out just like 1 or 2 years ago. The Call of Duty. I don't think it even
Vanguard.
There was no name
Cold
for this
War.
one.
Cold War.
And with the names, it's just.
I
should
honestly
go with the FIFA.
Here's what Call of Duty needs to do, man. They need to choose if they're going to do subtitles or not. Which I think they should get away from.
Use a sporting game naming convention. Yeah, just 17, 18,
exactly.
19, 20.
That's what I was going with.
Exactly, because then it would be very easy. I'd be like the one in, even if I was like the one in 2018, this one, blah, blah, blah. But the problem is that they are treating it like a sports kind of situation, but pretending it's not that sports.
Right.
Know? So saying, oh, we're skipping a year is a little bit like NFL saying we're not doing 2022. It's not Vanguard, I don't think. It could have been.
Vanguard would be the most current.
Vanguard's the most recent one. Cold War is the one before the most recent one, which has the zombies. That was like, I enjoyed that one a little bit.
Wasn't there a zombies that was also sold separately? A full zombies game for Call of Duty? I swear to God,
I would only buy that
like,
if there was an option.
World at War is the best one. Let's be honest.
World at War,
Dude,
yeah.
Anybody
The,
want
the,
to
the
fight me?
original actual Nazi zombies.
World
yeah,
at War was just the shit. Keith Sutherland doing the voiceovers. That game. Oh man, dude, that game was so good. And then what was the one that was so glitchy I couldn't even review it? World War II. Boots on the Ground. They were like, hey, man,
the one that they were too scared
Boots.
to put a Nazi sign, right?
With the flying loot boxes from,
Dude, that
from
game.
the sky.
Donkey balls, man. I remember trying to review it, and there were so many bugs. I was just like, I'm out. I'm not even trying. I'm like,
once they said they were too afraid to put Nazi signs, I was like, yeah, I'm not playing this. Oh.
Did they?
Yeah.
Really?
They didn't have the swastika.
In America?
They didn't have
I mean,
any
that's
mention
like
of Nazi.
America. We like to put those in.
Killing
so
Nazis,
fight them and kill them. Really? They removed it. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you're a Call of Duty fan or a Battlefield fan and you're in the comments right now just angry as hell because we can't remember, guess what? You're a fan. We are not. You're going to have to deal with that.
But it goes to show the naming is confusing as fuck because all of you guys played those games.
I've played them all, and there's some I really liked. Infinite's the only one I can remember the name. Oh, Advanced Warfare. I remember the name of that one. So Advanced Warfare and Infinite. And Abzi said the stuff about the remake, the Modern Warfare 2 remake 2. You know, at some point you're just like, guys, man, you need to.
Yeah.
Like, what if they want to continue the new
am I
Modern
going
Warfare?
crazy? Didn't some of them get released inside packages of others? Like you bought.
Yes.
That's what is. I remember that now. I remember being like, okay, you buy this. And
the Modern Warfare remake got packaged. With
Correct.
Something else.
That was not available standalone for the longest time. Yeah.
Isn't that? Wow. Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. It's not available standalone. You had to buy it. It reminds me of what was it? Halo 3 came as a beta in a game. Remember? Do you guys remember that? I think it was Halo 3. You had to. Oh, Crackdown. One of the Crackdown 1. I believe if you bought it, you got a beta for something else. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember that
yeah,
shit?
yeah.
And it was like you can get only if you buy this can you get the beta. And it was just like, dude, seriously, knock it off. Like you just want to come into the office and be like, fucking, whoosh, knock it off, dude. All right, what else do we got? That was an interesting discussion. So that was updates, right? Nothing else.
I remember like demos coming out with games you purchased.
Halo beta, thanks MP. Yeah, I figured it was Halo. Yeah,
it was Halo.
You had to
buy
Crackdown to be into the like Halo beta, and it was just
test the game for them. Yeah,
it was just
yeah.
That's a whole other.
Man, Halo 3 release was such a good time though.
Oh,
God
dude,
damn.
it was the
Good
goal.
times.
It was playing with you. It was a golden time.
My Xbox, Red Ring of Death.
Oh. Good times. Staying up late at night, working
times,
4 hours to get one level because your Xbox Red Ring, putting in the oven,
wrapping it in
a
towels, making
going
it
to the
overheat.
internet. Not a library, man. That's the basis of the internet is fixing your console. Like when you found it, Yellow Ring is the one I had for the PS.
The shitty YouTube
flip it upside down. Yeah, the shitty YouTube videos. That, like,
hey guys, this is how we put on a towel.
Nobody cared
like
about their mic, so it'd be like,
Yeah.
you put your oven on 500, and people were baking their consoles, and it worked. By the way,
it worked. It would. So what would happen is that I drop it in towels.
Reflow it, right?
Yeah, and then it would work for a couple days, and then and mid game, I remember playing Kane and Lynch with my buddy. We were playing Kane and Lynch, and then the game just freezes like, and it's like, oh, towel time again. Put it in a towel for 20 minutes.
Fuck. That's amazing. Like that's what a true gamer is.
That reminds me of one of my old laptops that would only boot if I pressed on the middle of the keyboard. And then it would work for
Oh my God, I'm getting shivers. I had the same thing. I had a notepad, though, the ones without the disk drive. For a little while, people were trying to sell those off. And I had to press in the middle of the mouse trackpad. And that was the only way it would boot because there was a short in the motherboard, I guess. Or it was, slightly warped. What do we got for
remember
free
the
games?
old co-op games like Kane and Lynch and Army of Two? Fuck, sorry, I'm just reminiscing right now.
No, those were good times, man. Army of Two was awesome. High-fiving after murdering somebody.
Yeah.
It was like, and playing an electric guitar over a terrorist body. You were just like,
and the weapon
this is
customization,
so
dude. The weapon customization.
And having shields on the front of your gun like that would protect your face. Remember? You're just I'm just going to put a piece of plate mail in front of me. And it's like, dude, have you ever seen any of the gun videos? YouTube gun videos have single-handedly destroyed a lot of the fandom around video game guns, though. Where you're like, you can easily block it. Or movies where they'll show a gun go right through a car door and it'll be like, lethal weapon, not real. And you'll be like, damn it, I believed it.
Yeah.
Kane and Lynch 2 though was pretty awful. Like the first one was okay.
Yeah, I never
but,
played
like,
the second one.
Second
I
one
only
was
played the
awful.
first
Yeah.
one.
Second one was the
Yeah.
one that Gerstmann got fired from Giant Bomb, right?
It was the one where IO fought. You know what's really what'll be really cool if we make the camera like it's being filmed by some bystander with their cell
Yes!
phone with the shaky.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I forgot they thought that was a feature.
was- it
they
was
were like,
also-
nausea is
Yeah.
a feature, man. We're gonna make you sick. Pay us.
It was also at a time where I just never was critical of. I mean, I loved the shittiest games like Lord of the Rings Conquest.
And the campaign was
which
also
I-
incredibly short.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't
Like a
see
couple
those
hours.
things. I don't remember that much. I guess because I was like a kid and excited about,
Oh yeah, you were innocent, man. When you get
Yeah.
older, the woe
mean-
of the
I mean,
world
the fir-
gets on your bones. You can't scrape it off. You just have
At
to
least for the first
actively
one, yeah.
ignore it. You have to actively.
The first one was all right, and like the multiplayer actually had some interesting ideas. Like the multiplayer in that game was sort of like Payday, but with a PvP aspect, where you were doing the heist, and then you had to get back to the getaway vehicle, but you could eliminate at that point. You could like eliminate your teammates so that you would get a better payout from.
Oh, is
From
that the
the heist.
multiplayer mode?
Yeah, in the original Kena.
You
Right,
could,
yeah,
you could
yeah.
eliminate your friends. Whatever. Could be
Yeah.
removed from that sentence.
You
Jesse
will.
Williams, $20 super chat. Thank you very much for the super chat. Like I say, guys, those really help the channel. I appreciate it. Reg, free games.
Yes.
Let's give them what they came
Okay.
for.
So, free game first. The list is even shorter than the last couple of weeks.
Wow.
Free for
Done.
everyone. Epic Game Store has Amnesia Rebirth and River Bond. Then subscription stuff. PC Game Pass has Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, and coming next week, 7 Days to Die and Research and Destroy. And Xbox Game Pass for console has Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion as well. And that's the end of the list.
It's tax season, so pretty thematic to. Yeah.
True.
If May doesn't get bigger in the free from all these companies, I'm going to start tracking this a little bit more. It's definitely leaned out.
Died down quite a bit.
Yeah, it's died down quite a bit. And I'm not going to say, oh man, things are going to shit. I'm just saying I'll track it a little bit more. I just have noticed a downturn, and I again thought it was because of the big titles, but maybe it's not. So everybody's dunking on silencers in video games. What are they really like? Not a silencer. You guys ever seen seen the video where somebody will put a silencer on a gun and shoot it? People are like, wow, that's loud. It's like, yeah, you can't just magically make it go away. There is a new company releasing a new type of silencer I saw that was pretty crazy. But subatomic, that
Like
would
you
be an
can't be like
amazing weapon.
007 being like
subsonic.
Yeah.
Does help. Let's see.
Or
what about
you
Lost
see in
in
movies
Random? Shane
that-
says. I don't. What about Lost in Random? He's asking us. I don't know what that means. Was that a free game, or is he saying if it's good?
Lost in Random. Oh, I think that's a Game Pass game that just came
Is it
out or
good?
something. I have no idea. Lost in
But
Random.
Game
Oh, I
Pass
heard about
forever.
it. I heard about it. Is that the
Oh yeah, there you go. It's new on EA Play Basic, I guess.
EA
Lost in
Play
Random.
Basic. There we go. Thank you very much.
So that also means Game Pass. So yeah.
Okay,
correct.
there we go. All right. So I don't know what that is though. As in, I know what it is, but
I don't know what that is. Never mind. I was thinking of a different game.
I played it for a little bit. I was excited for that game before it came out and disappointed when it came out. It's basically a card game, or you run around with your cards, and in the middle of the combat, you're very busy all the time, like hoping that you got the correct card that gives you another weapon because your previous weapon expired again. And it's just not a great gameplay loop.
Reminds me of Fate and Fate 2. Did you guys play the not Fate?
Oh yeah.
Was it Fate, the card game that came out about 5 years ago?
Hand
and then
of Fate.
Hand of Fate, yeah. I like the idea.
Good games, but
good games, but cumbersome
bit weird.
because it's almost like requiring
Especially-
you to look at a mini map in a game versus
Yeah.
Fuck,
And
Karak,
when
you
they do
posted-
the
I
like
combat
the
segments,
grip.
go look for it, Absy. I already know what game you're talking about. I just don't remember the name.
What the hell was it called?
Go look
dude?
for
The
it, 'cause
card
I wanna-
game.
Yes.
Oh,
Did you guys see this card
shit.
game we
I'm gonna look
posted
for
in
it.
Discord, where it's
Oh.
like a cell
Looks really
shaded,
good.
dark, gritty Dungeons and
Yes.
Dragons game with cards that you like. So you're in the middle of a combo, and then you drop a card, and then he pulls that move in the combo. Fuck, Osra,
I'm finding it
something?
right the fuck now.
beneath Osera,
and it's got a
like
demo
that.
out. Yeah, so when he finds this,
Yeah. If you search beneath on Steam, it comes up.
What's up, Sleeve? I pinged you, Sleeve. I was gonna actually ask you to come to the podcast, but you didn't answer. Whatever, it's cool. You're working. Sarah,
beneath Oresa. Beneath Oresa.
If you guys get a chance on
it looks great.
Go check out this game. That game is exactly what I wanted without at all knowing what I wanted from a card game. The moment he was like doing the 360 spin move and drops the card and pulls off the next move, I'm like, that's it. Like for the longest time, I didn't really know that's what I wanted, was something that felt active. So we'll have to see if it pays off. Yeah.
Really cool.
Anybody who plays it, I would love to know if it's actually stressful, like if it's too hard to play. It does seem like you're doing a lot. You would want the cards to really not be too super complicated. If you're in the middle of a combo and you're like,
There was like a couple card games that I loved. Obviously Slay the Spire, but there was Tainted Grail, which is like a Viking-esque one.
And free.
And there was
Tainted Grail's free somewhere.
It's amazing, dude. And the other one that we played that has a social element where you can like no. It has like Karak, I think, reviewed it.
Monster Train?
Monster Train's awesome.
Monster Train's awesome.
Monster Train is really cool because you could combine two races. It's like so you have like, it's a card game and there's like combat, but there's also choices and a social element where you can have social combat with cards to either
Griftlands.
Griftlands.
Dude, that game's awesome. Griftlands failed itself with that stupid ass early access, man.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the full release, honestly. But fuck me, that game it has really cool ideas.
Have you guys, Reg? Have you played Griftlands? You played Griftlands, right? Or
yes,
did you?
I did.
Did you like that one?
No, that one's good.
Yeah. Silver, did you play Griftlands? I don't know if you do a lot of card. Do you do these kind of card games though? Like these Slay the Spire? I don't hear you bring.
No, not really anymore. I mean, I used to play Magic the Gathering a lot. Way back in the day, but haven't really since.
Do you actively stay away because you're nervous you'll get Magic the Gathering to buy a game? Do you know what I mean? Where you get so into it, where you're I don't need to shower because no one cares.
No. That's not why. I mean, I don't think it's not really a question of me actively staying away, as it is just I'm not really just entering that orbit.
Okay, gotcha. Were you a Magic the Gathering like nerd where you were like, dude, you can't have that because, or were you just a general player?
No, I was very much just a general player and
best
collector.
Type of player.
Yeah,
best type of player. You ever met?
Yeah, I still have a binder that's like this thick of like Magic cards.
Oh, you kept yours
from 20 years ago? Yeah.
Hey man, you can sell some of them. PSA 10 or some shit. Get some $1 million.
Yeah, PSA but no, I'm a major hoarder when it comes to stuff like that.
Me too. Yeah, I hoard it. I keep it.
PSA is like a grading system for the quality of cards.
Well, wait, nerd, how do you know? You never mentioned you played Magic too? Absy?
No, but I got into I didn't get into anything. I just saw a lot of people selling and buying cards, and I know what the different PSA grades and yeah, man, I was buying some $5 cards, selling them for like $1 million. So much profit.
I mean, it is so funny these days though, because I remember like going to like the old Magic card shops, like, dedicated for it, and like seeing like in the displays, like the hallowed like Black Lotus, which was the card that everyone just like, the angels started singing.
Yep. Even I know that. I know some of these cards just because they became a zeitgeist kind of thing, where it was like, it was a big deal. You'd hear like some NFL football player talk about his special card, and people were like, you got
that. I think that sparked like, especially Pokemon cards with people opening cards and stuff. Then, that sparked NFTs, I feel like. But.
And then, I mean, I think what really sort of pulled me away from it was just the immense power creep that came into the game.
Oh,
where cards just started getting increasingly powerful
and turning some cards off. Where they'd just be like, this card can no longer be played, and you'd be like, well, why? You guys are the ones. I know I don't do the rules, but there's something about that I'm like, why didn't you fix it? Why did you release this card if you're going to turn it off later? I don't know why I get so I think it's because you're buying a physical thing. So to me, if somebody says, here's a physical thing, and then a year later says, we've removed this card, I'm like, fuck you, man. Figure it out. Because I bought that card, and I'm going to use it in your official game. I always get really testy about the physical stuff. And another thing about Magic is we've got Magic on video games. We saw that one game come out that came and went, the Diablo-style one. I actually liked it. It came out about 6 months ago.
For Magic?
Months ago. It was an early access Magic Diablo mix. That came out. But is Magic the Gathering digital big?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay. And like Twitch big? Or like
somewhat. It's
Okay.
just it's not. I don't think it's as big as Hearthstone.
So how do you do Magic the Gathering digital? Do you buy a physical and scan it in, or can you buy digital cards? Because if you can buy digital,
you buy
cards,
digital
you
cards.
can buy digital cards.
How do they stop people from hacking that they
It's
have?
loot boxes.
But how
Mostly for those cards.
How do they stop people from hacking that they have every card, or use like? Do they do tournaments? Like how do you
I honestly
prove-
have never thought that far. Like if people hacked, I mean, I'm guessing you'd have to hack like a server.
Maybe the
back to
server has your
NFTs.
deck. Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe the
It's
server has.
online only, right?
What'd you
Yeah,
say?
I think it's online only. I think you'd
Oh.
have to hack like server side. Like you'd have to.
But so that means you're buying digital cards that are equal to the cost of a physical card?
No.
No.
Well,
more?
I mean,
Or
I
Some
mean,
of them can
I
get
mean-
quite pricey. Yeah.
For the
Yeah, they can
digital
get
card?
pricey. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
the
digital
digital
but you
cards.
can't like sell. I mean, you know, the
Can you sell
collectors
them?
right
That was
now
going to be
for-
my question. Yeah.
No. Like
No.
the physical cards right now, like selling for 10K, 100K. You can't like digital. No, unless they introduce NFTs. I don't, you never know. But no, the it's only physical is where like the PSA comes in, and it's
Shane
like,
Trevor
holy shit.
says something. You can also craft them. Like, you mean grab 10 low level cards and make a high level one? MGO is digital. This is what abbreviated says. MGO is digital cards that you buy. They used to have a system where if you collected the whole set, you could obtain them physically. Oh, that would be cool.
Oh,
like maybe
interesting.
you buy them and then say,
Look,
here's
I have
my
all
code,
these.
and then they send you that's actually what I was talking about. Was it seems like that would be because I know that people hated it, but the reason why I like Skylanders is because it was physical and you could use
Right.
them. For
Well,
other-
that's
like,
how
it was a thing.
that's how NFTs are kind of doing
They're
it
trying
sometimes.
but they're not
like,
physical. That's the
yeah,
problem.
they're not. But some of them is where if you buy this NFT, we're gonna give you this gift box, or we're gonna give you this physical thing.
I don't know about
to
you
kinda
guys. If I get an
justify it.
NFT ever, I want the NFT to be whatever it is. Does that make sense? I don't want a gift box. So, like, if I get an
I guess
NFT of
so.
a character in a game, I want a 3D printout of that character. Does that make sense? Like
I
a
see,
miniature.
I see,
don't want
I
a
see.
non-connected thing because then now you're
Yeah.
5 degrees of Kevin Bacon away from what you originally fucking had.
Yeah.
But that's Magic the Gathering is the same as in real life. Buy boxes, packs, and open them.
Yeah.
To me, that's not the same, Astros, just because what I'm saying is that price-wise, it seems like why would you pay?
You're not getting
Yeah, I was
as
looking
much out of
a
it.
bit at the prices, and apparently there's like different generations of card decks you can get. And the
I mean,
Do they
that
turn
alone-
a digital card off like they do in the physical ones where they're like, this card can't be used anymore?
Yeah,
Like,
they
what if
do
you
for
traded-
balancing.
Dude, I hate this shit.
That's crazy. I mean, I think
Hey.
that's like one of the big reasons why people had such an issue with loot boxes, but not like actual card packs, because one is physical and it's
Did
it's
you,
there, it's real,
um,
and then one is digital.
Have you guys ever played Legacy
Like
board games?
there have been. I have read news stories about certain magic cards that got controversial and then got like sort of banned from
Yeah.
tournament play. and
Yeah,
whatnot
that's where I was coming
online.
from. Has anybody else here
Yeah.
besides me done the I just asked about it and I forgot.
Legacy.
Legacy,
yeah,
board game?
Legacy board games where you tear up cards. So like you're playing
No.
I fucking hate this. I hate it. I just want to be clear. If you like it, I get it, but I don't get you.
You
I don't
physically
understand
tear-
you and we'll never agree. You buy a board game, and as you play it, you tear up cards so they're never played again, and it like adjusts the
What?
scenario as you move forward. But they're still $80 or $90 board games. That's the problem with board games too. They're expensive. Board games when I grew
Yeah.
up were $49, and then $69 was Games Workshop because they were bastards. Games Workshop, you just knew they were going to overcharge you no matter what you got. So now we're getting $80, $90 board games where you destroy them as you play. And I'm like, I don't know why I hate that. I hate it.
I
No,
tell
you
you,
don't
completely
have to
understand
destroy
why
them,
you
I
hate
guess.
it.
You could say that. You could buy
Yeah.
it and not tear it up, but I think a lot of people are, and I hate the idea. What were you saying? I talked over you, Silver. What'd you say, bro?
I completely understand why you hate it. I hate that as well. I mean,
It's almost
I think
a
that
waste.
yeah, exactly. It goes to like the consumer, like wasteful.
Yeah,
sort
just
of
like, hey, let's buy it and tear it
aspect.
up.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you-
exactly.
Remember when we'd see people buy PS4s and throw them out the car while they were driving in front of people, as a YouTube joke? They'd be like, I bought a PS4 and smashed it. And you're like, dude, I don't know. That ain't cool. I don't like that kind of stuff. Abbreviated Review says, well, it kind of becomes a requirement when Magic has been going on for 30 years. It's like different editions of D&D. No, different editions of D&D are different.
No, and
if these
you
are all
can
cards,
make stuff backwards compatible for sure. It just takes work.
Well, if it's digital even, is what I'm saying. Why would you turn off a card digitally? It doesn't make any sense. You don't turn it off, you adjust the card. So instead of saying, hey, I traded 50 fucking cards for this one card.
That's a great point.
And it's called the Crown of like Lucky Horseshoes. If I've got that card and you decide it's unfair, that's on you as the company. That has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, is there like refunds or something for that?
It's a digital card. Change the fucking number if it's bothering you that much. Otherwise, make people work around it.
Like rebalance the card rather than
rebalance the card. Yeah, because that's the difference. That's the one positive digital should have. Digital should be should escape completely from errors of the previous stuff. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you should.
But yeah.
But
they run at least is it's digital. It's exactly the same cards as physical, and that's
I'm
it.
just bitching.
But even with physical, right? You can also just make it a priority.
One card deck in the online version costs about $100. Like,
I'm sorry, what? One card does?
One card pack, like a top 10 tier card pack, costs about $100 in the game. Which that website I was reading through advertised as great savings compared to the physical version, because that would be much more expensive.
Yeah, I mean that is one aspect of Magic the Gathering from back in the day that I do remember. Like those card packs were not cheap. Much like Games Workshop, like they knew how to charge.
I mean, to buy a first edition Pokemon like card box, I think is around $10,000 right now.
Each their own, man.
Sometimes it could pay dividends, sometimes it doesn't.
I mean, my personal opinion is
it's a loot box.
No, if you're paying 10,000, okay, so if you're paying 10,000, there's a good chance you're never going to use those cards because you're going to protect them. You don't want people to steal them at your local, game store, whatever. Or you're going to resell them. Yeah. Or you're going to be like a comic book collector. Well, the first one is the example, the comic book collector. I'm going to put it in a shelf and fucking, seal it away from air.
Sometimes the price can,
and so that the price prices it out of being played. I mean,
you grade it and you like put it in a cover and stuff and like secure it or whatever, and then you just put it on your shelf, and then either you pass it on to your kids or you just sell it later for more money.
Hey,
or
man,
you just
instead of this gun that can save your life and get you deer or something like that, I'm gonna give you a Pokemon card because you never know when you're trading for water.
It might be $1 million later.
Yeah. Go ahead, Silver.
I will admit, like the times I've been over to like a friend who also played Magic, and I saw his cards and they were like bent or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Not well taken care
Did
of.
That bother
like
you?
I always tied a little inside. Yeah.
Are you the guy who would buy people sleeves for Christmas? Because one of my friends was buying everybody. They were all Magic the Gathering fans. They were buying each other sleeves.
No, I didn't buy other people's sleeves. I just bought my own.
Bought your own. Yeah, no, you'd have that friend who didn't treat their stuff the greatest. It happens in Airsoft too, where you're like, let me buy you a buffer, like a buffer cover for
like
the
a
gun,
subtle message.
Here's a subtle message to knock the fucking stuff off.
Plus, like grading the cards, if there's a tiny scratch or if the picture is a little bit off center from the factory themselves, it can lose up to like $100,000 in value or something.
That doesn't
like something crazy.
If it's a one-off, it doesn't.
No, if it's not like one-off, like if it's not perfect, if it's not completely perfect, it loses a ton of value.
Like some comics, if they fuck up something and you find
there's a misprint or something.
Oh, it's like a rare.
The Forgotten Dumpling, $50 super chat. Thank you very much. Big news: Outriders getting a massive expansion in 3 months. Outriders World Slayer, Colin's Game of the Year 2021. Love the shows. Is it your Game of the Year? Colin's Game of the Year.
Colin from the other podcast you did?
From Sacred Symbols?
Moriarty, right?
That's not his Game of the Year, is it? No, nobody's Game of the Year. Oh my God, it is. I remember we talked about Outriders before. We had this discussion, Yeah, so there you go. He's getting one. Anyway, long story short, super long story, can't be short because I don't even remember how we got onto this shit.
Bro, yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, these collectible things, I love the ideas. I just don't think, like, if you're going to digital, you're getting the company is not paying for the printing. So they should at the very least pay for the error if they change their rules. And I don't think there's any way you would ever be able to say that isn't a very basic, like, purchaser right. Like, they're not paying for anything. They're just sending you an NFT. They're just sending you a bunch of JPEGs as your card. That is what they're doing. They're sending you. So if there is an issue, at the very least, reach out to the gamer and say, this card, we've decided for balancing issues. I don't know. You guys, did we agree on this before? I sort of like unbalanced things anyway.
Me too.
Game. Okay.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
The occasional broken thing, like where you're like, you bitches need to figure it out. Like, we're gonna leave it in, because if everybody gets it, then it's no longer everybody's got it. So now you got to figure out that everybody's, I guess this is a money thing. They don't want that because if they're 10 grand.
It's like one of the things I liked about Elden Ring. There was like weapons that completely were just super OP, and it's like, if you want to use it, use it. If you don't.
I felt the bow. I don't know. Who did the samurai as a starting? Just me? Did everybody do
that as well?
One of my playthroughs,
one of your playthroughs. I think it was Silver I was talking to, but the bow is pretty. I felt that the samurai bow was pretty OP at the starting. Like, a little bit of magic almost, as in you can reach way out and you can.
I mean, speedrunners used that class as a starting for a while, especially for the bow and the fire arrows that you start with. And you can also, that's what they use to kill the first boss that's supposed to kill you, because it's very powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
by the way, we have questions if we have time.
Yeah, let's do questions.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks, Forgotten Dumpling. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are excited for the Outriders stuff. Me, not one of them.
Yeah. This one from.
Sorry, real quick. You should see me post in the Discord where it says this question was asked by Becca. In the there's a post by me where I pasted in a question Becca asked on Patreon about 3 weeks ago, and we haven't done questions.
Is Becca? I haven't heard of her in a while.
Yeah, she pops in occasionally, or when I talk about West Wing or something. It's like her favorite show. You seen that anywhere? I can find it. Go ahead.
I'm looking it up. If you have it handy, feel free to just read it.
Everybody's like. They get all quiet. This is the general. We should just have a silent moment where everybody's uncomfortable.
If not, I can go to other
questions. Becca asked a question. Silence. Here we go. Axie Infinity, the NFT game. This is from Becca. The NFT game, $620 million hack. Youngie has a video about it. Seems the sheer amount of money to be made there means any stepping back by companions because of bad PR for NFTs would unfortunately only be temporary. Also, with there being shifts towards regulation with microtransactions. She gives some examples here. It seems, why leave money on the table when the climate is shifting on MTX and any regulation takes decades? Oh, yeah. So basically, I don't know if you guys saw this. North Korea hacked Axie Infinity. Axie Infinity was one of, if not the leading NFT game with actually a mini game in there. There's a tiny bit of game. And so it popped up that people are saying, like, why not do NFTs? If it's taking that long to get regulation out, and I think she's right. We saw it with MTX or with loot boxes, right?
Yeah, I mean, the motive is there for companies to do it. Yeah, absolutely.
It took.
I just feel like
there's a significant profit motive there.
The wide array of gamers just see NFT and just immediately. I mean, it's. I think it's bad publicity, probably, right?
I mean,
true.
It's certainly bad publicity with a contingent of gamers, but whether that represents the widest array or
I think it's the majority, but I may be wrong. I mean, everywhere I look, everyone's
honestly, I think the majority still probably don't even know what an NFT is.
Yes, they don't. They think you when you buy an NFT, you own the IP, but you don't. You just own a code, basically, literally just a hash key of a thing. You don't even own the thing.
But no, she's right. When you ask, like, why leave money on the table? That's a question for every artist who's ever been, told they can make a bunch of money if they sell out. That's every company when they, are asked to make something and maybe they don't fully agree. I mean, I think they're all just most are gonna do it. But I think a lot of people do see NFTs and look at microtransactions and don't like where we are now. Because remember, the presidents are us, as in our age. A lot of our ages in the middle-aged area, those guys are running companies now. And some of them do agree with us. And they're like, this is terrible. and we don't want it. Or if we are going to do it, we got to make it a real thing. So it's not everybody. It's just most.
Or you even have some companies where it's actually like the employees gathering together and saying, we don't want to do this.
Look
to
at
their
Ubisoft.
management.
Remember, they were
Yeah.
investigating Ubisoft. The employees were like, we have no clue why NFTs are in the games. Like it doesn't even make sense to us. But not that it always has to. Anyway, and somebody was asking if we were going to ask or talk about the big games. Before we go to the questions, my question to you guys: what do you think the big 2022 fall game is going to be? That was going to be the question on
Starfield.
that I missed. Do you think it'll be Starfield?
I think it'll be Starfield and Hogwarts.
Not coming out this year, bro.
Didn't they
Starfield?
also-
I think Starfield's coming out this fall.
I think it is. I think it is, Johnny. They're releasing
Really?
a lot. They're doing a lot of PR, man.
I saw a headline somewhere, I think today, that Ragnarok, God of
It's
War,
definitely
got
coming
confirmed
this year.
for
Yeah.
this year.
Oh, I saw that too. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's big.
So you've got
Yeah.
those three at least, right? I don't think
Yeah.
Ragnarok will, because of the user base isn't on all of them. I think Hogwarts has a higher chance.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see what
because
you
who
mean.
owns a PS5, right?
Well, I mean, even if every single person bought a PS5, or every single person who owns a PS5 bought that game, those other games could possibly outsell it over the period of their
Also,
life.
I
So
think
it's like, I don't
Ragnarok
know.
is still coming out on PS4 as well, so you don't need a PS5.
Well, there you go.
Oh, I guess
PS4.
so, yeah.
There you go. Scratch that. I just don't see it keeping up with. I think
Starfield.
Starfield. Here we go.
Oxenfree 2.
Oxenfree 2. That'll be your number one.
Is
No,
There you
Starfield only Microsoft now? Like
Nope,
is
it's
Starfield
everybody.
only everybody? PS4, PS5?
wait, no, Starfield's exclusive. Sorry.
Starfield's exclusive. Okay. And it's coming out day one Game Pass, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good thing they overhauled the modding system in Game Pass. I appreciated
Yeah.
that.
True.
And the filing,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. They removed the private.
Oh, they did.
private shit.
Yeah.
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 Quickly.
Everything new you install now via the app is in a regular folder instead of
Yeah.
that system.
I think that
only
happened like
shit.
quickly after they acquired Bethesda, because they were like, well, mods.
It only makes sense, right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
only makes sense. I don't know about you guys. If I was Microsoft and I was doing any title that wasn't going to be party exclusive, but that was a big game like that, I would be like, our exclusive is mod. That's just me. Because
True.
if I had a console, if I had two versions of game and one offered mods and the other didn't,
Insta buy. Yeah.
It's
I mean, that's why I
pretty-
built a fucking PC, dude.
well,
for
not only that,
mods.
but look at what people did with Fallout 3. They hacked the console version with a mod to run it at 60 FPS. So it's like, nah, man. I mean, the amount that you can do, especially with Bethesda games, it just seems like that would be a good trade-off. What about you, Silver? Is it those three games? One of those three games that you think will be the biggest game of fall 2022? What do you think about Hogwarts, man? Do you think?
I mean,
just don't know
Hogwarts
enough about
is.
it.
Hogwarts is more holidays than fall, really, right?
Yeah, true. I think
it's December.
December, yeah. So that's a late one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very late.
that's
December
true.
31st, I think. Like, very, very late.
I think it's really difficult to predict Hogwarts. I think.
Yeah, because
I
we
mean,
haven't even
one
really
thing-
seen much, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of excitement for the game, but there's also a lot of controversy. But that controversy can also generate further interest as well.
That, yeah.
Plus, it's like a new thing. Like not a new IP, obviously, but like a new. We don't
Right.
get like we get those fantasy games, we get those like
Yeah,
sci-fi
and
games.
I mean,
but
and we
Hogwarts is
haven't.
on its
I mean,
own.
it's been a long time since we had a Harry Potter like game.
Yeah.
True that.
Since
When
the
was
Wii, I think a Wii
yeah, it
with
was like
the
Wii or something like that.
or Connect or something. Yeah.
What about you, Johnny? Which one do you think? It doesn't have to be one of those three. If there's a,
Yeah, I mean,
but I think
Starfield, I'll be excited when I see it. And if it doesn't look like all other Bethesda games, maybe I'll be interested. But the idea of a Skyrim in space right now is like,
not high on your list, right?
Do you know
Just-
that? Like,
I think he does, but dude, there's been a lot of
open.
open world games like that. Like I think
Yeah,
maybe in
it's
fall
the,
he might
the
be more
engine.
excited.
It's just so dated
Oh,
for me,
the
like
I
the
guess
way it
so.
looks.
I guess so. Yeah, but it's just
Yeah,
something
true.
about Bethesda games that is different than the other open world games.
You know why? Because dude, their interactivity is nuts.
Yeah.
When
yeah,
every
yeah.
item is pick upable. I don't know if I'm not
Yeah.
using the right verbiage, but it's you can poke everything in the game, and that is a huge step up from even the most interactive.
And it was like kill
other game.
anybody and
Mhm.
all that stuff, you know.
Yeah. Every bread can be picked. I mean, it doesn't have to be. But
I
you
remember
can.
in Fallout 3, I used to pick up weapons from the weapon stores and hide in a corner and just steal them where no one can see. Because if you pick up,
Yeah.
if you interact
Yep.
and pick up, they don't
Yep.
react.
I mean, yeah, yes and no, but I mean, you can interact with a lot of objects, but like you can't really interact with like furniture and stuff. Like you can't move the table around.
You can
and
sit. Yeah.
kick
You
over
can
the
sit
chair.
at
They're all
least.
Yeah.
specific. Like
That's all static.
yeah,
Yeah.
no physics involved in those. Which, admittedly, I don't think I want because their NPC
No, yeah.
pathing ain't great. Can you
Also-
imagine
also-
an NPC
Not-
going crazy inside of an inn?
Yeah, I mean, not only, I mean, there are already issues with how many objects are actually interactable, where sometimes it just goes completely crazy with things like
Bread
falling
kills
all over the
people.
place and whatnot.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you can have bread like bouncing around inside. The engine was overhauled. It's now, it's the same engine. Trust me, it's the same engine. It's been
Overhauled. I mean,
it's the same engine in the same way that Unreal is the same. So we could see some massive improvements, but currently it is the same engine. Do not think
Game
it's-
Brio, right?
we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm open.
it's-
Listen,
I'm
it'll be-
open too.
Yeah.
Too. But I want to see it. I mean, what they've been showing, I want a space game. But man, their
Yeah, for
competition,
sure.
guys, has adjusted completely. I mean, you got
Yeah.
No Man's Sky and you have Outer Worlds, which I personally really enjoyed, and Outer
Outer
Worlds
Worlds
2
awesome.
coming. Oh, but
Yeah.
what about you, Reg? Any of those three?
No, I think I would go with Pokemon just because they sell like crazy all the time.
True.
Wait, there's
True.
a new Pokemon again this year?
Yes.
Third one?
hmm
What is
Dude.
wait, is it like
It's
Arceus or is it like the
No, it's the main line with the typical 2 titles thing again.
so Arceus isn't mainline, so they're not like they're not upgrading the game to be more modern.
they
They're
are.
still-
Arceus was like the prototype of what the next mainline one.
Oh,
will be
okay.
like.
Okay.
Is Arceus the one that looked archaic? Like it looked
Archaic?
like shit?
Well,
Yeah.
the graphics weren't great. Yeah.
So, has anybody from a company looked and said, "We're looking at that, like this next game
No.
won't look like dump"? Oh.
No, it's always the same company that does it. They always sell like crazy.
Smile Bite or Smile, or is that a different company?
No.
That's a different company that does it.
And they
Everything better.
just, I don't know. They just don't.
Hey man,
bother
Nintendo
because they don't
fans,
need
remember?
to.
I mean,
Yeah.
Pokemon
Freaks, right?
fans.
Game
Pokemon
freaks.
fans. That's
Yeah,
a whole
Pokemon
other...
fans is a whole other
Yeah.
whatever, man. Like that's Game Freak. Thank you, Expanding
Yeah.
Circle, with the answer there. Game Freak. Questions, Johnny, go for it.
Yes. Sorry, I missed Becca's. I was
No
searching
worries.
in the wrong thread. So this one from Super Bams. Good morning, fam. Are any of you going to get The Evil Dead? Do horror games interest you at all? If so, what has been your most memorable horror experience?
Alien Isolation.
Good choice. Clive Barker's
Easily.
Undying.
There's an old survival horror game. I think I've talked about it on the podcast before, called Nocturne. They're sort
Nocturne's
of
good.
Resident Evil inspired. Set in like the 1920s, where you're basically working for a government agency called Spook House, created by Theodore Roosevelt to fight like paranormal phenomenon.
I love
It's
that
really
mix
has
of
a
government.
really amazing. It has a really sort of amazing
features.
atmosphere. One of the most amazing atmospheres I've seen in a
Is it
horror
out?
game.
Oh, Nocturne's old.
Yeah,
Nocturne's
it's
old.
old. It's like
Oh,
20,
it's
20
old.
years
Yeah,
old.
it's 20
I think
years
it's from
old,
like
man. Nocturne's
Okay, okay.
ancient.
from around 2000. Like it was I mean, at the time it was a graphical groundbreaker for like shadow work and stuff. And cloth physics, because like you're playing like the stranger, who's this guy in a trench coat with a hat and dual wielding pistols, with that trench coat that sort of moves
That
with
moved,
the wind.
yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when that was a big thing?
It was actually quite funny because the physics would sometimes overcompensate, so it would look like he had like fleas or something
Yep.
in his pockets that were just constantly moving. Yeah.
Reg,
I
horror
don't know
games
because
for you.
oh sorry.
Oh no, I don't think he's a horror. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Abs.
I was just gonna say because till now my favorite survival horror, I don't know if it's like mostly like puzzle game, is Resident Evil 1. And I would love to see like stuff like that come out more. Yeah.
Johnny, next question.
Oh yeah.
Or
Jay
answer to that,
Cyrus.
Johnny, because I don't know if you got a chance to answer.
Well, for me, Dino Crisis is one that stuck with me. I shit my pants with that one. It was one of my first like really action oriented games. I played with a friend, like, and just those dinos popping out. It was also like the Jurassic Park era kind of.
Did anybody else scream like a schoolgirl during Tomb Raider #1 when the Tyrannosaurus chased you underground? Fuck, man.
Yeah.
Those dinosaurs are a little...
I often do in those.
Dude,
sequences.
I screamed like a little girl. I remember playing with my friend Roger, and that thing came out, and I didn't. And the ground went. Grr. You'd never seen anything
especially because there's like pitch black darkness. In
pitch black darkness.
Yeah.
Yep. And I remember, and of course, it all looked like jank, right? We thought it looked real, but it was like you see this thing that's sort of some triangles, but it's bigger than you, so you're afraid of it. What else do we got for questions, Johnny?
Jay Saris says, in your opinions, what are some of the best examples of environmental storytelling?
Oh, that's a good question. Go ahead.
Good question.
I mean, some of the most recent ones that come to mind are from like Elden Ring.
Elden Ring, yeah.
Oh,
sometimes
yeah,
you'll just see.
True.
Like
You'll
Scarlet
just see-
Law and Caelid and the way there's a lot of environmental storytelling in that. Like when you go to
or
like
just-
Fort Height
or
and
just like corpses where there's been like a fight and you have particular corpses arrayed in like a particular way, so you can.
Did you
I know
guys
I laugh at
see
him.
Jason's post in our chat? Real quick, I had Jason says, I had 2 megabytes of video memory and no audio card, so I didn't hear the Tyrannosaurus. Instead, just saw the whole ground shake, turned around to see this fucker coming after me. Oh, man, I don't know why. That is just awesome. Twice as scary. Sorry, what were we talking about? Oh, Elden Ring. Continue.
environmental storytelling. Yeah.
Do you guys have any?
Yeah, but just like seeing like the way corpses or something are arrayed and like so you're left to extrapolate yourself how that fight took place,
happened?
what kind of fight, who
Or like
fought,
one of the
over
biggest
what and whatnot.
Yeah, and one of the biggest twists in the game is done through a statue you see. And yeah, stuff like that is pretty cool.
I'm going to give
like
a
how
shout
you see
out.
the dead go to the in the catacombs, like you see the roots of the earth tree and
Is
how
this still
the dead it's
Elden
Elden Ring. Okay, I'll finish. Yeah.
No.
But yeah, stuff like that is really cool. I'm trying to think of another one.
Here's
not
one
recent.
for me, Witcher 3. And Witcher 3's environmental storytelling, really, I'm not talking about finding a dead body and thinking a murder might have happened. It was their switch between urban and rural areas. So, like, you could always tell a city was coming because you would start to see things in the forest that would indicate a city was coming. I remember one time there was this burned out section. Obviously, like, rain had washed out a trail, and they had shored it up with rock. And I found that rock above, like half a mile above in a wall, and somebody had gone to the point of making that wall look like it had been moved, like parts of that rock had been moved down. And I remember just being like, that's an attention to detail that required a couple people to say, hey, I'm working on this spot, you're working on that spot, let's
I mean, the other thing that game does really well is just sort of tell the story of the impact of war on the environment.
Yeah, and life, just like even the I guess that's all war afterwards, but yeah. Reg, do you have any for like environment? Do you even track this stuff though, Reg?
No,
You get excited?
Well, I was trying to think of games where that would happen, but I think BioShock maybe.
Yeah,
something like that.
Oh yeah.
BioShock had a lot of stuff where it was not foreboding, foreshadowing. Like you could see something, like you sort of knew something weird was going to happen, and then when it did show up, it was usually always one step above what I expected, which is why I think BioShock works so well. System Shock, BioShock, any of the Shock games.
What I was thinking of is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, the one with the family, because before they show you that what the family are up to, right, with the dinner, you kind of you get the feeling, the vibe.
Yeah, you know something's up. Nobody
and it's in that direction.
Yep.
Right? You kind of know, oh, this is what's going on.
Yeah,
and it's something about, I think it's the environment and how they kind of
You're absolutely right. It's the environment, the color, the flies, the color of things which look like it could be
their kind of
body
madness
part.
and yeah.
What? Sorry, Reg, what?
Hollow Knight is also another thing.
Hollow Knight.
Oh, dude, yes, there was a boss fight.
2D platformer.
What was it about that? That like
it's just the whole world is like telling that's kind of pretty depressive story about everything going downwards, and you just have little rays of light in some of the areas, and stuff like that.
So did you feel the same way, Reg, about Ori? Did you get that? I got that from Ori 1, Ori and the Blind Forest. Did you?
Oh yeah.
No, not
lesser,
so much.
to a lesser degree, I would say. Like Hollow Knight is stronger in that department.
Hollow Knight's it's already on its second, right?
Almost, yeah. Shadow Song, I think.
Yeah. That's great. Oh, Metro Exodus, somebody said. Now,
Oh,
I agree it
true.
probably does. I went, like I knew the answer, but Metro Exodus, I'm sure, has some. They're pretty good at that. What else we got for questions?
This one from Bonky Kong. Is there any game that you think is limited by its art direction? Like something that is stylistic to the point of it being detrimental?
Obra Dinn.
Obra Dinn, I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
People swear by it.
No,
right?
it gave me a headache.
That's the immediate easy answer for me.
Yeah. I would agree, Obra Dinn, without any hesitation.
Yeah,
Silver,
it was.
do you have any?
It was
Go
too
ahead.
much.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I was just saying, yeah, it was too much. I can't think of another one, but that was the first thing that popped up in my mind was Obra Dinn.
It's rough, man. Rough. Do you have any Silver that like you were like, man, I wish this looked different?
Yeah. I mean, I have a bunch, but unfortunately, they don't really stick out in my memory. But certainly, that's been an experience at times where
I think
this art style just really doesn't gel with me at all.
Do you think you're the opposite though, Silver? That maybe you notice when it sticks out in a good way versus maybe.
Yes. No. Yeah. I mean, I just tend to move on when it doesn't. I don't really sort of linger on it. It doesn't really stick out.
Do you guys remember it looked like it was a Dark Souls but anime?
Yes.
What was that game? Because that
it's
game,
a Bandai Namco.
it was a Bandai Namco game, and it wasn't. It wasn't
Code Vein.
Code Vein. That's
Yeah.
another one that I was
right.
I saw it and I was like, guys, I'm sorry, it ain't working for me. I couldn't even. It would take a long time to figure out exactly. Oh, multiple people.
I mean, certainly, I think anime games are probably maybe like the biggest example for me, where when it's just a lot of like schoolgirls running around, I have no desire to play it. Really,
you're not the guy who's like looking late at night for schoolgirls in a game. You're looking late at night for like the anti-schoolgirl game and Steam filters. Yeah, no, I get you. I get some. Sometimes it's a little like just gratuitous, I guess would be the term.
Yeah. For me, it's games like Loop Hero, where I get it that it's indie.
I know.
But when 40% of your screen is just static real estate, nothing is happening, right?
Pixel.
The menus look like shit. I'm sorry, IMO. Like it just seems like they're making it quote unquote ugly because that's an aesthetic in and of itself. The kind of style
I'm happy with my body, though I'm obese and have diabetes and my feet are falling off. I get you.
Fuck, I thought I kind of like that though.
Reg has a game.
That's what I'm saying though, Absy. Some people do like that's a look. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Like I don't give a fuck about.
So Reg didn't mention a game, but I know I've heard him say it, and it's that Dwarf Fortress game. Because weren't you the one who said Dwarf Fortress? You just couldn't play it with
I definitely said like I hear all the time how amazing it is. And,
and you like those kind of games.
Much better than RimWorld, which I love.
Yeah.
But no, not without graphics.
Yeah, like aren't they that like ASCII, right? Like the
yeah, they are.
They're ASCII graphics, yeah.
Yeah, they're just it's coming out, right? It's got
supposedly when it's ready, maybe sometime.
Well, Zombioid. We've got the patience, man. We're good.
Actually, I have another example because this is actually a game I quite wanted to play, but the art style actually kept me out of it. And it's about a month and a half old, which is it's a major homage to the old Heroes of Might and Magic games called Heroes Hour.
It's called what?
Heroes Hour. And just the sort of simplistic design of that game is really what has sort of kept me away from playing it.
So I saw
Oh, I
this.
see
I
it,
saw this. Yeah, I don't even need. Yeah, I saw that, and I'm a huge Might and Magic fan. But
Me
that
too.
kind of what is that? Like an NES almost, like a fake.
Yeah, almost
fake-
like 8-bit NES sort of overworld.
Man, if they went with Heroes and Might and Magic 3 as their art style, I would have fucking
I'm
been on
such a
that.
Heroes fan. Dominions was the other one.
Same.
I was a huge. I think it was Dominions. Yeah,
For me, it was Armageddon is my favorite. Like Heroes of Might and Magic 3 Armageddon.
those are
Oh my
such
god,
good games,
dude.
man. Is there even
So
a
good.
Might and Magic?
The new ones
anymore?
didn't do
Is there
that
even
well.
a series anymore? I mean, is that still being made?
Yeah, no, there's
I
like
think,
7.
I think the last one is from like 2016 or something.
Oh,
No,
gotcha.
there's a newer one, I think, like 9 or 7 or something that
Oh, is there?
Ubisoft put out, but it didn't do as well. I think after 3, everything 5 was kind of cool because they kind of made it more like 3, but I think 3 it died with 3 for me. But fuck, I still play that. My dad still plays that game. Like, you know, it's still good because that art style is kind of, it doesn't feel super old, you know.
No,
it's still-
because it was a good,
beautiful.
good fantasy. Somebody says King's Bounty is a spiritual successor. Yeah, King's Bounty was awesome too. King's Bounty was the shit. Aston says Heroes Hour is really fun. It may be, and I think he.
Yeah,
thinks
I
it
mean,
would
I've
be
heard,
fun.
I've
It's just
seen
not.
plenty of good reviews for it.
Yeah. Sometimes though, man, you look at something, you're just like, sorry, man. You know,
Yeah.
you got that person who's India, and you're like, dude, you're just ugly. I don't like you. Go ahead, Johnny. What else you got? Johnny's like, damn. Heard that too many times, have you, Johnny? No, I'm just joking. Go ahead.
Yikes.
Wow.
Didn't think it was going in that direction.
Hey, I've heard it. We've all heard it. Continue. What else?
Marcus Scipio says, hey guys, not sure if it's on the menu, but what do you think of the Vampire license being opened up to the public?
You guys
Yeah,
posted
I had put
this.
that on the list.
like Masquerade.
Yeah. It's on, what's it
Oh,
called,
well, the
Reg?
World of Darkness license, really, not just the Vampire one.
Isn't it called like open, it's like OpenGL, or not OpenGL in a way, but open.
Okay, so what the deal is, they opened it up for indies to be published, but only for games that are published on itch.io. So some kind of partnership, I guess.
Okay.
They take 33% cut. And well, for that you can use license. You can create the games for free. Then obviously they take nothing because you don't make any money. Or the game, weirdly enough, has to cost at least $5.99. They have a minimum price for the games you release.
Presumably because they want that 33% cut.
Yeah, exactly. So I got to say, just so everybody knows, I was really happy about this until I just read that. 33% for a paper product or even a digital product on itch. They're taking 33. That is really, really fucking high, man, because you're already losing out. Does itch take their own percentage, Reg?
They for sure take one. I don't know how much.
So let's say itch took 5%. You're almost at 40%. You're almost at 40 fucking percent going to other people. It's awesome that you can do it, but I thought honestly, I just thought they were saying
itch.io by default 10% cut apparently.
Dude, that's almost 45%. That's high. Once you add everything up, that's not very good. That's too bad. I still think it's awesome though that everybody can make what they want if they want to. Just you better sell billions of copies or sell it for $5.99. No, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You said if it's up to $5.99, they won't charge.
No. So what's in there is you can create games for free and put it on itch.io.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you charge a price, then it has to be at least $5.99. Like they give you, the creator, a minimum price you can sell the game for. You can't sell like a $2 World of Darkness game.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I would assume that's because they want like some kind of minimum profit from that sale, so that even if it sells like,
and you don't have to pay them the revenue if it's below $500. I think
$1.5.
That's also in there. Like,
so if it's below 500, you also don't have.
If you made so little money despite charging, and it's less than 500.
So basically, if you do really, really fucking well, or you do terrible, you're in good shape.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. That's way too. I mean, man. Especially now when I'm dealing with all this on the side, like hearing that kind of cut, that's high. People are saying that's pretty common. Absolutely not. Not for what we're talking about. Not when you're starting out at that. I think people are confusing it, thinking it's just like the front end. That's Vampire taking that, correct?
That's
That's
what's the
the
publisher?
World of Darkness people taking that. Yeah, it's complete.
Yeah.
That is, you guys are mistaking it. It's not just that. That's the starting of it. That's really high. What else do we got for questions?
Let's see. We have this one from Kel. Recently replayed the Uncharted series, and it got me thinking, what is the most emotionally satisfying conclusion to a video game or game series that you encountered? And why do you feel that way?
Thief. The ending to Thief Deadly Shadows, and the Garrett's whole arc over the 3 Thief games.
Deadly
really,
Shadows is 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Middle Age being 2, and the Dark Project being the first one. Where it starts out with Garrett being just a street kid trying to pickpocket some guy on the street who turns out to be a keeper who doesn't want to be seen and isn't seen by anyone else but Garrett. And so Garrett starts on this journey to become a keeper, where he's supposed to sort of maintain the balance of the world and whatnot, but instead he just wants to go in business for himself, use the skills he learned as a keeper and as a thief, and he becomes a very, very reluctant hero throughout the 3 games. And then at the very end of Deadly Shadows, the entire keeper order has basically been annihilated. Garrett is the only remaining keeper, and has basically taken up the mantle of being keeper at that point. And then he gets his pocket picked by a little orphan girl on the street kid, and he delivers to her the same line that the keeper he stole a purse from in the first game gave to him.
Probably one of the best loops.
Just a really nice cyclical, nice cyclical narrative, really satisfying ending to the entire series, executed really, really well.
Dude, yeah, I would agree. Anybody else?
I'm sorry,
no,
but
I just want to add a correction to the monetization thing for the World of Darkness. It's 33% including itch.io, so they have like an all-in partnership.
Oh, that's good. A little less. What were you saying, Abzi?
I'm sorry, but my most recent favorite ending is Death Stranding. I thought the ending was incredibly well done.
Did you find it satisfying?
Yes, very. The whole last sequence, like everything was explained to a T. My eyes were dotted. I thought the twist was handled well, and the very last scene was heartwarming, and it ended on a good note for me. So
I'm gonna disagree with it. It's surprising because I also like the game, but I think the whole narrative was really heavy-handed in that game.
Sure, sure, but
Yeah.
I think I enjoyed it, and I was when I was done with it, I was just satisfied, and emotionally I was good on that.
Okay.
And it just like was very all-encompassing to me, so like they didn't leave any stone unturned for me. So except that Mario and Princess Peach shit.
I'm not
talk about that.
Beach,
I'm not saying anything negative. Continue.
Hey man, play it and find out.
I haven't said anything negative, man. Whatever. Man. I'm glad.
Suffering in silence.
I'll just say this.
You're just giving the look.
I also had the best ending to that game by just watching the credits and being like, this is very satisfying to never play this game again. I'm just joking. You get through all of that stuff, you're just going to have a better experience anyway, than I will, because I just keep popping off. I just keep bouncing off of it. So it's like, I'm not a good judge of that, obviously. I don't really know about an ending that's made me feel like, it's been years since
honestly, for me, it's pretty rare that an ending is like, whoa, okay, that was fully satisfying.
Johnny, do you think that's because they're always hedging on a sequel, or do you think that's because we've seen all the endings that are possible?
Dude, I think that's a lot of it, because I'm thinking back to Horizon Forbidden West, and the ending is a mix between like a cliffhanger and like oiling up, for the next one. Like it's
oiling
just
up for the next
just lubing up.
But
for the
also, Johnny, it was pretty climatic. I think the credit scene and everything, I actually thought, I don't know. Yeah, I agree with you. Do you know what? Also, though, Johnny, other than Last of Us, most games can't do very much really raw to characters. So I think when I see an ending, they can't carry a lot of emotional resonance, because there's it's usually a hero ending or it's a blah, blah, blah. So
Yes.
I don't get
Yeah,
too
so-
in. Go ahead. Sorry, Reg.
Yeah. No, I didn't want to interrupt. I was just thinking the Trail series from here is the obvious easy answer.
Well, I mean that's
Like-
that's a good answer because you also got to play all of them in a
Exactly.
row.
I played all of them. You get invested in the characters because you do go with them through most of the games. Like they change sometimes, but you do know all of them. At the end, they all come together as well. So you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I remember that character from the second game. Like, cool, he's back again.
Yeah.
You have a
Uh,
one up on people who even like the series who didn't play it all in a row because you can
Yes.
remember
Yeah.
some of the more.
Which is why I did play all of them, because I was looking at the reviews on Steam for the user reviews, and literally all of them said play the other games first. Like, don't play this game standalone. Play all
weird.
the other games
They
first.
were like,
Yeah. Oh,
I-
someone said in chat Hellblade.
some
That's a really good one.
Hellblade is, but they also mentioned a game I can't believe I didn't, but Red
Oh.
Dead.
Red Dead. I was
Red
gonna
Dead
say
1
Red
was
Dead
probably
one.
like, even though that bump
And
at the
2.
end I didn't like as much, it was like it overstayed. It extended to where I'm like, this is half of
Yep.
an ending and then the real ending. But Red Dead,
mean, the
admittedly, man.
And someone said
Another one is
Bioshock. Sorry. Yeah.
the ending to the Blood and Wine DLC for The Witcher 3 as sort of the,
Yeah, excellent.
the culmination of CD Projekt's sort of entire Witcher project at that point.
So there are good ones. It's just,
Also was really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
and I forgot. Yeah, those. Yeah, Witcher 3. Like those are. I don't know why. I guess
You know
I
what it
just-
is? A lot of those for me, it's music too, dude. Because
Oh,
like the Hellblade one, when it
Mhm.
gets to the end, they show the scene and that theme hits, which is super impactful. I got the shivers.
But bro, you
and-
just explained to me why it didn't work for Red Dead, because Red Dead 1 has the
Ah.
music, and then you have another gameplay
More.
bit.
It doesn't-
Then you have one character
Yeah.
die, then you play another. So like, if it had ended with just him riding home and that question mark almost, I would have been like, best
Boom.
ending in a game ever created.
Yes.
Will never be.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
instead, it extended, because I agree with you. That ending music, like the ending of Mass Effect 1, when they have the
Yeah.
actual guitar and the guy singing, I remember just being like, what the fuck? That's amazing, because it was like, everybody's so afraid of ending.
Mass Effect 1 had
Yeah,
such a
Mass
good
Effect 1's
ending. Oh my
But everybody's so afraid of ending, they want a sequel. So you get, like you said,
Yeah.
oiled up
Yeah.
for the sequel. I hadn't thought of that, but that is,
Dude, you're right.
they're all
though.
oiled up. They're all slippery.
Dude, Mass Effect 1. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
never played it back in the day, but dude, okay, so the credits music was amazing, but like everything culminating to
Yeah,
that at the
like a
end was
movie.
just so, you were like, fuck yeah, right on, like holy shit, dude. Oh
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
and them riding off into hyperspace and then the credits roll. Holy fucking. Another one that really satisfied me was Outer Worlds as well, because
Oh,
like
yeah.
uh,
Outer Worlds
all
was
your
really good.
choices culminated and you did
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the where are they now
Well, I guess that's what
stuff.
matters, because a lot of them you don't feel like your choice matters, because again, they're
Yes.
worried, or they didn't do anything with the characters in the, like, you'll be like, was I in danger? Really? Was I ever? I guess that's why in number 2 for Red Dead it did work, because obviously somebody is in danger for a long time, so you like
Yeah.
can sort of tell something's happening. Red Dead, or who's that? Who makes it? Rockstar? They make good.
Yep.
They make games where they're okay with killing somebody, I guess.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that does,
Yeah.
especially the starting of even GTA 5. You're like, did he just kill that dude? Because that's a main character from a different. You're like, so you start to really get a hold. I think all these guys are just so nervous, man, about being
Yeah.
gritty, that the only people is Naughty Dog, who, to be honest, they start to feel the samey as well, I guess. In a weird way, like, you can tell it's a Naughty Dog game. I don't know any other way to, like, I don't know. It's just, it does. I like Uncharted 4's ending.
I don't really like those games. It
But-
doesn't appeal to me, like those movie games or
The
whatever.
movie game. Yeah, what are those called? Experience game? I mean, Firewatch ending was good. No, it wasn't, Bep. I agree, but Firewatch, I thought it was going to be like, we talked about this with Andy. I thought it was going to be like Supernatural.
yeah.
And instead
It's
it's
a
like,
letdown.
it is sort of a letdown. You're all, oh, all right. So nothing
It's
really.
good. It's good. It's just
It's,
yeah.
Yeah.
Max
Nier
Payne 3,
Automata for sure. Nier Automata, absolutely.
Nier Automata was good.
Oh
Man,
my
a
god.
lot
I
of
didn't
these
find
are
it
coming up.
satisfying. That's
Nier
the thing.
Automata?
Ooh, really?
No,
Also, the
not at all.
the ending to Alpha Protocol and the
Oh,
way
yeah.
I mean, because you're like throughout Alpha Protocol, sort of one of the hooks in that game is that you're being interviewed or like you're sitting in an interview room,
interrogation almost, or
interrogated.
whatever.
Yeah, it's an interrogation rather more so than an interview. Yeah, getting interrogated. And then how your choices during that interrogation eventually then ties into your choices throughout the game.
Yep.
Coupled with the presentation of the ending, I thought worked really, really well, especially just the sheer scope of the variety that's available for you.
Dude, you can kill I don't know if you're it sounds like
you can kill entire. You can kill
entire
quest
characters
givers and whatnot.
quest givers, yeah. And in a game that doesn't feel like it's
and every single playthrough is going to be completely different to each other, because you're going to meet different mission givers who are going to give you different missions.
Hey, listen to this. Somebody else just gave another good example.
And you're going to have different people showing up at the end.
Yeah. Life is Strange. Somebody brought up as well, having a good ending. So I guess there are. True Colors was pretty good. So was Tell Me Why. All those games. I guess there are a lot of good. I just forget.
As long as it's not number 2, it's all good.
Life is Strange. Life is Strange 2 doesn't exist.
Never happened.
Yeah.
What a drop. True Colors is written. True Colors was done by the Life is Strange 1 team, right? Isn't that how it went? Like, I think Life is Strange 2 was a different team.
I believe so.
Or something like that. But yeah, so I'm seeing people here say Edith Finch was good. Grim Fandango. Wow. That's awesome that somebody remembers.
Yeah,
that.
it's kind of an obscure
Dragon
reference.
Age Origins ending was cool. I don't remember the ending.
It had multiple, right?
I remember the beginnings.
Yeah,
because you can pick
the
a different.
beginnings were awesome. Yeah,
The beginnings are awesome. I don't know.
I don't.
Origins mattered in that one.
Or Origins.
I mean, you also have the ending to the original game, and then you have the ending to the Awakening.
Yeah, because you had Mask of the Betrayer, right? And then like,
Mask of the Betrayer was Neverwinter Nights.
That was Neverwinter Nights. So.
Prey.
But certainly the ending to Neverwinter Nights, Mask of the Betrayer is another example.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to remember.
The ending was also good.
Of which one?
Prey.
Dude.
Prey, yeah. I love that. And some people probably didn't like it, but I liked how it was. I'm not gonna say much, but all the things you did were, they brought it up. So
Ghost of Tsushima. I'm not gonna disagree. I'm just gonna say I had an issue with Ghost of Tsushima because I actually felt, again, oiled up. I'm gonna now just overuse Johnny's comment. I felt like Ghost of Tsushima. I don't know why, but I was like, maybe I just knew they were we're gonna get expansions and stuff. So I guess it just didn't hit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ghost of Tsushima hit hard for me. I think
the ending did,
like both. Yeah, because fuck, that would spoil it. But
yeah, don't spoil. Yeah, we've done good.
The ending was good. Yeah, like the ending was good no matter what. I'll just say that.
That's true.
The
ending was solid no matter what.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know. It didn't do much for me, but I mean that's another result of me. Like I was able to see every story beat coming, so they didn't
on
really...
Ghost.
Yeah,
Ghost
so they didn't really affect me very much.
Right, Ghost wasn't really narratively that. In fact, Ghost. I don't know about you guys. In Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm not going to spoil anything. At the starting, you're talking, or the dude's the prisoner. He's talking to the main bad guy. I actually again thought there was something supernatural going on. Like it felt like more than it was, or it was going to be.
I think for me, why I liked it isn't for narrative purposes. It's like for like the effect, like the music with the way the ending was handled.
It also has probably one of the best side actions, writing the haiku. Dumb. Takes a couple seconds, but you got a naked ass dude writing haiku, and I'm like,
you're looking around.
You're just tree petals are beautiful, and I'm just like, dude, somebody took the time. Like it's like hot coffee, but good. I don't know if you guys remember the hot coffee fiasco, but the sex in GTA that they removed, and it was awesome.
It was again in the remaster, right? So
Tristan, $10 super chat. I just tuned in the stream. Wanted to say I hope you guys are having a good time. Always appreciated listening. Thank you very much. We're like 40 minutes over. Yeah, dude, those are all good. I'd forgotten most of those. Somebody said they didn't like Mass Effect 3's ending, which we can all agree. But Nier Automata, I wasn't a fan of that ending because there were too many.
I didn't find it satisfying. Was the thing. I loved the
game.
Did
you get to? Are you talking about ending E? Which is like the final ending.
I did.
Man, with the credits, it was amazing. The credits sequence, and then the little thing they showed afterwards. I thought that was.
I didn't find the explanations, reasonings, and different things satisfying.
Yeah, see, I
at
don't
all.
look for that
A lot
that
of it
much,
didn't
yeah.
make sense, but that's because the question was, is it satisfying? And to me, it's like, does it come together? And is
I
it?
guess so.
Or
Yeah,
is it
like
just
doesn't
satisfying?
make-
I mean, you don't have to explain.
Yeah,
Was it satisfying? No.
like for me, satisfying can be different things, right? Like, yeah.
I get what you mean. I mean,
first-
I love it still, but
reverse. I thought this said reverse gangbang. Reverse Gutterberg Press. I just read it for a second. ACG, don't you think that games refuse to end the game storyline because they have no good ending? Nobody knows how to end a book in a satisfying way either. I disagree, man. I see a lot of they're not necessarily modern books, but
it's difficult, probably. I would
difficult.
imagine.
It's immensely difficult to write a proper ending
or to make a game,
satisfying ending,
like we're
or
all
to
sitting
write
here-
a book.
that in itself. Yeah.
The ending wasn't satisfactory, and the
Yeah,
guy's
but,
like, "Dude,
I mean,
I lost.
I mean,
two lives
there's.
over
I
that
think.
amount of time."
I think there's a significant reason why George R.R. Martin hasn't finished Winds of Winter
for
yet.
sure. Yeah, I tease him all the time. But
well,
there
he's
is-
just slow,
Right.
right? That's the reason.
I think it's more. I think it goes to more than that because he's written other stuff in the meantime.
exactly.
So
Yeah, that's the problem.
It also
write
goes
the
to
fucking
climax
book.
anxiety, man. You know, not
He's
performance
just so-
anxiety, but climax anxiety. You're like,
Yeah, yeah.
really,
I
really
think-
follow-up.
nervous about that.
and
pop at
to
the
be
end.
perfectly honest, I think the backlash that the final
Fans?
season of Game of Thrones got
Oh yeah.
from fans, I think that significantly contributed to.
Well, and I think also, if we're just
that
talking about
delay.
him, I think also the feedback about the show makes, if any negative, makes you go, okay, I got to fix this in my book too. It's a weird thing going on with him in particular.
Yeah.
It's a very
Yeah, these
odd-
are perfectionists, right?
Well, they're
Like
yeah,
these people
and
that take
it's
10 years
multi-million-
to.
It's multi,
Yeah.
well, probably
It-
billion dollars.
But I
now.
think
I
it's
mean-
actually not even just about the money because
No,
you
I
see
don't think it
other
is either. I'm saying
writers
that's how
like
big it
No,
is.
yeah.
No,
No,
think-
I
mean,
gotcha.
I
But
don't
like you
think-
see others. Sorry, Silver. Just real
Yeah,
quick. You see
sorry.
others like Patrick Rothfuss, who also takes 10 years to write a book. He's the guy from The Name of the Wind, which is also a really like,
Mhm.
and it's their legacy. That one
Yeah.
series of like 3-5 books, whatever it is their like that's their life.
That's their thing. Yeah,
That's
they'll be
what
known
they're
for.
leaving to the world. Yeah.
that's a good point.
just that. I think
Fucking
it's also
Final
important
Fantasy 14. That's such a good
to remember that they are human beings, and that I mean, outside of like profit motives and whatever, there is this sense that I'm never going to be able to the performance anxiety of I'm never going to be able to please these people.
Oh yeah,
Like these people are never going to be happy with whatever it is that I put out. Whatever it is, I'm going to catch flack for it. Coupled with the fact that fans are like continually hounding him for the ending, and though I think all of those are like contributing factors to that.
Yeah.
I think for games in particular, it does pop up too because they know that you've immersed yourself. You might have made, and then if there's narrative choices like a Mass Effect, trying to finish Mass Effect, admittedly, they fucked up in ways that any Steve working at a company could have said, 3 color choices? Seriously, guys? We said we weren't
We
doing
did this
that.
with Deus Ex already.
Yeah, switch this over. But that's hard. You've got like, what is that? Probably 10 total years combined of game making. I don't know when they started those games. Then you get done and you're like, okay, now we got to find a way to gather all of the pertinent things and put them in an ending. That's why I personally believe the wrapping up thing shouldn't be done. We see that in TV shows where people be like, they didn't tell me why the polar bear was in Lost. Sometimes I'm like, you know what?
You don't have to. That's what
Dude,
I'm saying.
I meet
Like,
people
you
on the
don't-
street who are weird as fuck, and I'm like, where did that guy come from? I don't get to find out his origin story. What the fuck? Like, that's at some point.
I'm
wish
the
some
kinda
game
guy
devs
who
would just
kinda
be like,
wants to
"Here's the
know."
ending." And
But I get you. Yeah.
no, I mean, I want to know, but I'm not gonna. I don't need to know
Yeah.
every. Look at Mass Effect, man.
True.
Mass Effect had like 8,000 choices, 2,000 fucking characters. They ended it poorly because I believe they structured it in trying to get all of it. Instead, it would have been a little bit better if they were just like, here's the ending. We're not going to worry about Andromeda. We're not going to fucking try to be world changing. Sometimes they go too far. And
I love when they leave some stuff up for
Ambiguity.
interpretation. Yeah. some
Ambiguity
stuff.
can be good.
Yeah.
The longer you wait to
True.
put out an ending for something, yeah, true. He's just saying the longer you wait, the worse it is, or the harder it is. So that'll be it for us. We are 50 minutes over. Well, not 50 minutes over. We're about 30 minutes over. But anyway, I want to say thanks to these guys for sticking around for this chat. Thanks to everybody who's actually still sticking around here. Absy's going to have his His work cut out for him for editing. Don't worry about it. Just I think we did a pretty good I don't think you have to edit much.
Fuck it. Do you not want me to edit this one? I was just gonna.
No,
add,
I mean
like,
you can, but I'm saying there's not other than I don't know.
Yeah, there's not much
audio and a couple flash ups of like the games we're talking about.
Yeah,
that would be good.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Or maybe a.
I won't make too many cuts. Like I won't make cuts.
Just cut out the entire good part and just leave us going. That would be amazing. 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And or right when you're, GIFs that end too abruptly or whatever that that Reddit is. So it'd be like when I'm like, oh, remember, and then just keep passing by those moments. Yeah. That would be.
Awesome. Have you seen it? No, sorry, you can talk. No, I can talk. Oh,
that's
sorry,
it for us.
Go ahead.
Abzi will just keep going. That's it for us. Thank you, everybody. Peace out. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for being fans.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
I didn't realize that one had gone.
Do you want me